What have I been about?
Good evening, hello, and welcome to the UEFA Nations League Goal Show Live. This is it. This is the start of the brand new football calendar season for us, and it's interesting because it's actually the first time that we have done international games on the channel. Of course, pretty much for the majority of the previous season, we weren't able to because of coronavirus and other things on the side. But we've got some really good games tonight. I don't think many people will know about the UEFA Nations League going on, but we've got some great matches and we've got some great guests and people and absolute legends joining us for tonight's fixtures. We're going to be doing it as a goal show, so we're going to keep you up to date with every single match that is going on tonight, with the games kicking off in about 5 minutes' time. So without further ado, we'll bring the boys onto the stream. They'll talk you through their games. We've got some of the lineups as well very quickly to look at in a moment. So we'll start off with somebody who's watching the Wales game tonight, Finland versus Wales. It is going to be Rowan.
I'm not watching Wales-Finland, mate.
Are you not? Have you?
I'm watching. I'll see you in a sec.
There we go. It's KD who's watching it. How are we doing, KD? You all right?
I'm excited to watch Wales. Yeah, I'm excited to see this game, to be fair. Football's back. Not the biggest fan of international football, but see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good match tonight. Gareth Bale is in the starting lineup, of course. Daniel James as well, one of the Manchester United players. Be good to see how they do tonight. So that is one of the games that we're going to be watching, of course, Finland versus Wales. We have the other game which I'm going to be watching tonight, the main game, I guess you could say, in terms of the stature of the international sides. Germany are taking on Spain. We have another game as well. Ukraine will be taking on Switzerland. Not a bad game on paper. And to watch that tonight, we will have KL. How are we doing?
I'm doing all right, mate. I'm looking forward to the game. It's two sides that I think are very similar on the national stage. So I'm looking forward to it, even though I'm a bit with KD. We talked about this the other night. International football is not our gravy, but we'll see if we enjoy the games.
Hopefully so. Fingers crossed. We've got Russia. They'll be taking on Serbia tonight, which is the game that Rowan's watching. I got there in the end. You'll be watching the Russia-Serbia game tonight. I mean, on paper, not a bad game. Russia been in form in the international games recently. Serbia got a great side on paper as well. Should be a decent match, Rowan.
Yeah, for me, a man who is not good with talking, I probably got the worst game for the names. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Very best of luck with the names tonight. It's going to be a challenge. And then, of course, one other important game on the background. It might not be from League A. It is Faroe Island. They'll be taking on Malta. And to watch that tonight, Will, you've got the honour of watching these two incredible sides take on each other. Goals galore, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's either 0-0 or a 4-0. I can't wait. Like you said, Rowan said, he's the worst match. I think he's definitely wrong there.
Who knows tonight? Some great games indeed. We're going to be kicking off in 4 minutes' time. Let's have a quick look at the chat, see how everybody's doing. Prince of the Underground, welcome to the stream. He says hello. Chris has put, hi everyone, hope you're all well. I'm not interested in qualifying tournament called Nations League. I'm watching the darts instead. And Alexa's put, excited to watch Serbia, even if we don't have Matic and Miljevic. And Prince of the Underground has said, looking forward to seeing Waldschmidt at play, which, of course, he's on in the actual German team tonight. So before games do kick off, in about 3 minutes' time, we'll have a quick look at some of the lineups very, very quickly. Of course, we'll start off with the Germany lineup. Germany versus Spain. Traps in goal. Back four of Tilo Kehrer, Sul, Emre Can and Gosens. Midfield five of Draxler, Gundogan, Rudiger playing CDM tonight. Kroos and Sane. Timo Werner is up top for Germany. As for Spain, 4-3-3, David De Gea in goal. A back four of Jose Gaya, Pau Torres, Sergio Ramos and Carvajal. Midfield three of Thiago, of course, linked with a move to Liverpool. Sergio Busquets and Fabian Ruiz. And up top, interesting front three tonight, Ferran Torres of Manchester City. Rodrigo now of Leeds United. And Jesus Navas not playing that usual right-back position we've known him to play over these last couple of seasons. That is the Germany versus Spain lineups. Next game is going to be the Finland-Wales game. 4-4-2 tonight for Finland. Horadecki in goal. Urinen, Väisänen, Ojala and O'Shaughnessy at the back, not the most Finnish sounding name in the world. Midfield forward, Kauko, Sparv, Kamara, and Niskanen. And up top, Pajampalo and Timu Pukki. Do we think there's going to be goals tonight for Timu Pukki? Yes or no?
No.
Nah.
No
No.
Pukki party.
No. I like him. I like Pajampalo. Not seen him play in a while. I remember he burst onto the scene with a hat-trick for Leverkusen. Not seen him since. And it were about 4 years ago.
No, he's been very quiet now, but he's in there tonight alongside Timu Pukki. So it's a 4-4-2 for them. As for Wales, they're going for a 4-4-1-1 tonight. When Hennessy in goal, Davies, Ampadu, Lockyer and Roberts at the back. Midfield forward, James on the left-hand side, Levitt, Morrill in the middle and Gareth Bale. Williams playing as a cam and Kiefer Moore playing up top. So 4-4-1-1 tonight. That is the Finland versus Wales game. The next game is, of course, the game between Russia. Pyatov in goal, Shmishik, Khrushchev, Matviyenko and Mikachelenko at the back. Very happy to have pronounced that one spot on. Stepanenko and Malyanovsky in midfield. It's a nightmare with these names. Yarmolenko, Zinchenko and Konoplyanka as the attacking three. Junior Marash is up top. Good luck on trying to pronounce the back four's names tonight. Kieran, it's easier with Switzerland because you've got Sommer, Zuba, Rodriguez, Akanji, Elvedi, and Mbabu as the back five. Of course, the goalkeeper as well. Vargas, Xhaka, Sau, and Mbolo as the midfield four. Mbolo playing on as a right mid tonight, and Haris Severovic playing up top. So that is the game between Russia and Switzerland. We've then got the lineups as well for. Oh, that's a Ukraine lineup. My bad, I've put Ukraine there. It's Russia game. It's Shunin in goal, Mario Fernandez, Semenov, Zhikya, and Karavev at the back. Midfield three of Ozdoev, Bakev, and Zobnin. And a front three of Ionov, Zhuba, and the veteran Yuri Zirkov tonight playing on the wings. God knows what's going to happen there. And then, of course, we've got the Serbia lineup as well. Dimitrovic is in goal. Pavlovic, Maksimovic, and Malenkovic as the back three. Kostic, Maksimovic, Gudelj, and Lazovic as the midfield four. Attacking three of attacking two of Milinkovic, Savic, and Tadic. And up top, we've got Mitrovic. And as for your game, Will, I couldn't be bothered to find out the lineups. I decided to leave them. Not because I couldn't be like. It's just we were in quite a bit of a rush to get these games sorted out. So I was just like, get the first ones that I possibly can ahead of these games.
You don't need to worry about me because I've got to be honest. I don't recognise one person out of the 22 players starting, to be honest with you. So,
do you know what? I'll try my very best for when the goals go in to find out who the goal scorer was. So everybody's got a rough idea. So we're about to get underway with these games. It's 7:45. The way it's going to work tonight, if you've seen this before, we're going to do it as we did on the Premier League final day. Take the boys off the screen. I'll run you through tonight's main game, which is Germany taking on Spain. And then the boys, of course, will come in as we go along with the goals. And God bless you, Will. It's going to be a long night trying to find out who scored and who's assisted. Are we all ready, boys? Have the games kicked off?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Yep.
Rowan has.
I'll go by.
So some games are kicked off. Mine's kicked off as well now, as Germany do take on Spain. You guys tell me when your games kick off and we'll get the goal show underway.
We've got a minute's silence. So
we have a minute's silence.
I think it was somebody, it wasn't to do with anything, what's going on. There was a picture of a man on the screen, so it might be someone close to either Ukraine or Switzerland. But you can let me go because my game started.
Very best of luck. Enjoy your game. K out.
Get underway as well.
About to get underway. Very best of luck, KD. Enjoy your match. And Will, has your game started yet?
I'm just trying to get it up on the red button. I can't find the red button, but I will put it in the chat when it eventually starts.
That's all right.
The red button's currently not working in a minute, but
that's okay. Give me a heads up when the game kicks off for you. There we go. Right. So all the boys, they're ready, raring to go for tonight's games. We'll bring them in, of course, as the goals go in any moments, any important goals. But this is it now. We have begun with the goals show, and Germany versus Spain is the main game tonight. I would guess you could say. For many people, you're probably wondering with the Nations League, what is it even about? I think there'll be a lot of people who watched this last year, was a little bit confused with how this tournament works. And to be quite frankly, be honest with you, I think even a year on now, I still have no absolutely idea how this works at all. Will saying red button isn't working right now. Let me just get him on the stream very quickly, see if we can sort this out. How are you trying to access your game, Will?
So I'm on Sky Sports, and it says press red. So it's giving me the option to get the red button, but it's saying that there are currently no interactive events on the channel. Not sure why.
If anybody can help, well, we might not have the Faroe Islands game here.
I'm sure everybody's gutted.
It's a big game. I mean, if you can get it up, give me a heads up in the chat, and we'll keep it rolling. And as I said, for now, I'll keep an eye out on the score. But we'll see if we can get the Faroe Island Malta game up at some point. Who knows whether we're going to be able to or not. But in terms of the actual tournament, as I said before, if I'm being quite frankly honest with you, I've got absolutely no idea how this tournament works. I think the majority of people have no idea how this tournament works. It's just a case of just enjoy it, because when it gets to the knockout stages, it is relatively fun. There we go. Put that back up on the screen there. So Germany versus Spain is the main game tonight. We've got Ukraine versus Switzerland, Russia versus Serbia, Finland, Wales, and Faroe Island taking on Malta. They're the games that we're watching. You can see as well on the bottom of your screen. You can also see the scores for the other games going on. That does include the likes of Bulgaria taking on Ireland, Slovenia taking on Greece, Turkey taking on Hungary. So every time a goal goes in, we'll keep you up to date with the scores for those games. Just looking at the chat right now, see how everybody's doing. Welcome one and all to the stream. Hope you're having a fantastic time, and hopefully you can enjoy international football. Although, let's be real, we want league football back. Chris has put sit down if you love the darts. Go on, lads. Nice to see that. Of course, the darts on as well tonight. Millie's joined the stream. Welcome, Millie. She says De Gea's distribution is tragic. Pretty poor, to be honest, so far in this game. He's been a little bit dodgy in this first few minutes. Chris puts qualification tournament for next tournament. Let's be honest. I mean, the knockout stages are fairly exciting. I mean, it was really good for us last season with England, of course, and Sebastian has put team lineups. If you're asking for the team lineups for the Germany-Spain game, you can see them on the screen now. So that's the Germany lineup, and I'll put the Spain one up in just a moment's time. So the Germany lineup is a 4-5-1 today. You can see that on the screen. And as for the Spain lineup tonight, it's a 4-3-3. Quite an interesting front three tonight. Ferran Torres, Rodrigo, and Jesus Navas as the front three tonight. Not the usual suspects up top, of course. There'll be a lot of Leeds fans, I think, watching this game tonight, keeping an eye out on Rodrigo, of course. Now he is a Leeds United player after moving from Valencia in the last week or so. Prince of the Underground, I'm Portuguese, so I can understand it very well. And he's also put, can I start a petition to get Rowan a new fan? I'm going to jump Rowan on. There you go. You got a petition for you, Rowan.
Well, Prince is a loyal fan of the F1 thing. And unfortunately, my fan hasn't gone missing. I've just moved it to a different room because it's not hot enough. So luckily, I don't actually need one. But I mean, as I thought I'd also, while I'm here, I'd like to say, there's my TV controls, so I'll mute it. I've just realised this Serbia team have got so many standout players, don't they?
It's a quality squad.
You look at the lineup, this should be an easy win, but the Russian defence genuinely does look like a caretaker, like an old people's home. They all look like they've all 50 plus, already just to retire, yet they're still moving around like they're old. It's very strange.
We've got a good squad, and there we go. We've got our conversation about fans, and there's been a moment, actually, so I'm going to take you off for a moment, Rowan. KD said there's been a goal, but it hasn't counted. What's happened in the Finland-Wales game? That's fantastic. No, I don't know. I said there has been a goal that's been given. It's been given as offside. So I can't hear KD right now. He's gone. But Finland-Wales is 0-0 right now. There was a goal. I don't know whether who the goal was to. We'll find out in a moment's time, but it's been disallowed. So Finland-Wales stays 0-0 right now. There's always a mistake on this channel. There's never a day where we get something wrong, but no, Finland-Wales could have had our first goal of the day. Nothing as of yet, so he's going to stay 0-0 in that. I'll get him up, of course, in a moment to give you an idea as well. We've already had a game on today. Latvia, they took on Andorra. It finished 0-0. There was a red card, of course, to Latvia in that match. They were down to 10 men towards the latter stages of that game. But so far, we're about 7 minutes into these games, maybe a little less in some of the other matches, and it's 0-0 right now in these games. So do keep your eyes out, of course. Hopefully, we will get some goals going in very, very shortly. But if you're new, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. We're going to be doing this Euro Goal show pretty much throughout this next week, of course, as the Nations League takes place. It's not the most exquisite competition in the world, but we're using this as a tester, of course, for these international matches to see whether you guys want to have this content in the future. Of course, plenty of big games going on in the meantime. Right, KD should be all good now. What's happened in your game between Finland and Wales? I can indeed.
Right, so just as a Finland free kick comes in, it goes wide for a goal kick. What happened was Daniel James was running down the left-hand side for Wales, cut back onto his right foot, curled the ball in, and Kiefer Moore did head it in. And I don't know why it's not been given, because he wasn't offside unless he's put it in with his hand, which he didn't look like. I can't see why the goal's been disallowed. Of course, I'm not watching with audio, so I can't hear the commentators. But it should be 1-0 Wales.
Should be 1-0 Wales. Unlucky for them there. Thank you very much, KD. First major opportunity of the day in the Nations League right now, going to Wales. And as Kieran said, should have potentially been a goal. As you can see right now, Germany 0, Spain 0, Ukraine 0, Switzerland 0, Russia 0, Serbia 0, Finland 0, Wales 0, and Faroe Island 0, Malta 0. There's some of the games that the boys are watching tonight. We're going to bring them in and out of the stream as we go along. And of course, put your questions and comments in the chat throughout the show. We'll talk about anything pretty much in the world of football right now. Sebastian asked, is Rudiger playing in the mid? He is indeed. He's playing as a centre defensive midfielder tonight for Germany. So it'll be interesting to see how he does for Joachim Low. Chris has put, because of Euros, Croatia and potentially Serbia in our group, it's England more chance getting knocked out than winning the whole tournament. Who knows? Of course, it was a fantastic run last season in the tournament. Got a good chance here for Germany. Lovely opportunity for Timo Werner, who I think was just flagged as offside there, although De Gea had to make a pretty decent save. And just looking at it right now, he's just a whisker offside. So a really good potential chance there for Germany. Sebastian's put, tomorrow the two lowest ranked teams in the Europe will take on each other, of course. San Marino and Gibraltar. I think the two teams taking on each other. I think 2:00 that game is. God knows what's going to happen in that watch. And Raj has joined the stream. He says, hello, welcome in, Raj. Hope you're all good, pal. Welcome to the stream today. So let's have a quick look, see if there's been any opportunities. There has indeed. Finland, Wales. Again, another moment. KD, what's happened?
What a game this is, by the way. It's Wales again down the left-hand side. Same side as the first chance. Dan James again puts it's a nothing ball in. And it flicks off the leg of, I think it's Ajala, the centre-back. And Hirideki has to make a good reactionary save, and it's still 0-0. But for Finland, it's not a good start. They're very slow on the ball. Wales knocking it past them with ease.
Could be a potential opportunity for a first goal soon. Sounds like a good game. Thank you very much, KD. Still 0-0 in that one right now. And as it stands, we're about to head towards the 10th minute, maybe a little bit more forward in other games. Right now, it is 0-0 as it currently stands in every game. Of course, as every goal goes in, we'll keep you up to date as we go on with the international fixtures. As I said before, it's the first time we've done international fixtures on the channel. It's a real tester to see whether we are going to do this or not in the future. Of course, we've got two big England games coming up, not necessarily big in terms of the teams that we're facing. Of course, we've got Iceland coming up in that first match on Saturday, but it's still great matches to watch. And of course, we'll keep you up to date with all those throughout across the week. Big games going on. Some other matches as well tomorrow night. I think Scotland taking on Israel, Netherlands taking on Poland. So some good games going on. And of course, some bigger games, including Germany versus Spain, which is going on right now. We've had a good opportunity here from, I think it was just looking there. It was actually Thilo Kehrer who's come bombing forward from his right back position towards the near post. And David De Gea has had to dive low to try and save what was a really good header from the German fullback / defender. And although it probably wouldn't have gone into the back of the net, it's a good save from De Gea and it goes out for a corner. Just have a look right now. Will's internet, who is trying to watch the Faroe Islands game, is having a bit of a struggle right now, but hopefully we can get him in at some point to see what's going on in his match. Sebastian says he thinks San Marino are going to win the game, and he's asked for predictions for playoff games for Euro 2020. We'll talk about that in a little bit because we've had an opportunity in the game between Ukraine and Switzerland. What's happened, Kieran?
We've had an absolutely brilliant moment. It's been a really quiet start to the game. I'd say Switzerland have had the better of it. But Malinovsky, we know him, he's a talented lad and he loves a long shot. Takes strike from 30 yards, hits the crossbar, and it falls to West Ham's Yarmolenko, who lashes it with his left, but it only hits the side netting. It's the first real sight of goal we've had, and it hits the woodwork.
Very unlucky there. Thank you very much, Kieran L, first opportunity of the day between Ukraine and Switzerland. Sounds like an absolute rocket of a chance that could have made it 1-0 to the Ukrainians. Of course, Malinowski playing at Atalanta, being fantastic there this season, although he's not had as much game time as he probably expected when he moved to the Italian club. Will's put nothing has happened so far in the game. Only one shot for Faroe Islands, which was off target, which is probably as good as the game will get. But we'll keep you up to date to see if there's any shots on target by the end of the match. But as it stands right now, just to make sure in any of the other games that the boys aren't necessarily watching tonight, it is still 0-0 across the board. Of course, we've seen some of the teams that are out tonight. They're much different to the regular sides you would expect from some of these big international teams. Of course, Germany and Spain being those two major sides taking on each other tonight with very different sides. As I said before, the front three of Spain, Ferran Torres, Jesus Navas and Rodrigo. You usually wouldn't expect them to be the front three, but it's really a chance to use some different players in this Nations League tournament. I guess a lot of these nations probably won't take it as seriously as the likes of the World Cup and the Euros. And it's a great platform to try out some youngsters and some different players that maybe haven't had call-ups in the last couple of years. But in terms of the major game tonight between Germany and Spain, lovely opportunity here for Spain to go through and goal. And the goalkeeper's come out of his net. He's missed it. Rodrigo has come out here, has had a lovely opportunity to take it round the keeper, and somehow he's not been able to take it round Trapp, who goes in for a slide tackle. And it's an absolutely outstanding tackle from the goalkeeper, because if he mistimed that, there's a real potential opportunity there for the goalkeeper to be sent off. Absolutely quality tackle from the goalkeeper there. And somehow it stays 0-0. Although Germany coming forward here, it's a lovely opportunity at goal. It's another save that David De Gea has had to make here. This time it's from Julian Draxler coming in from the far right-hand side. As he's gone on to take the shot, he's slipped, but De Gea makes the save. It's another corner for Germany here, and it's quite a decent first 15 minutes so far. Both sides having a couple of decent opportunities in the game. Of course, you would expect plenty of chances. So let's have a look and see what's happening so far. Wales playing some good stuff right now, according to KD, but we've still had no goals in any of the games yet. There are, I believe, 9 games going on tonight, and yet somehow it's still 0-0. We've just hit around the 14th minute mark in the majority of the games. Of course, some will be a little bit ahead than others. So let's have a look at Sebastian's comment. He asked for predictions for the playoff games for the Euro 2020. Of course, there's some big playoff games going on in October, which we are looking to cover those matches. Scotland-Israel is one of those games that is quite a standout match. I think Norway are taking on Serbia in one of those games. Some good matches in there, of course. Looking forward to that next month. He's also put, I have a feeling Rodrigo won't do good at Leeds. I'd be very interested actually to hear from you guys in the chat about the signing of Rodrigo, him moving to Leeds. It was a pretty interesting deal that was done fairly quickly. And of course, I wouldn't say kind of caused ruptures across the Premier League. Just a little bit of shock of the fact he has gone to a club like Leeds, and whether you think he'll do a good job in the Premier League next season. I mean, Sebastian thinks he'll do something very similar to Wesley at Aston Villa. But we have had our first goal of the night, and it's at Ukraine and Switzerland. Kieran L, finally, we've had a goal. But who's it to?
We have indeed, and it's to Ukraine. And it's Shimshik, the right-back's making a bombing run, and he's through-balled on the right-hand side. He's driving into the box. He drills it at Sommer. Sommer, it's too hot for him to handle. He parries it back to Shimshik, who squares it across. There's 2 defenders on Yarmolenko. Very, very cleverly back heels it into an open goal. Lovely goal, and it's 1-0 to Ukraine. Could Sommer have done better? Maybe, but it's 1-0. Yarmolenko scores.
Finally have our first goal. Thank you very much, Kyle. At least you've got the opening goal. It's Ukraine 1, Switzerland 0. And finally, after 15 minutes, we can start talking about something that's from a goal from tonight's games. I mean, Ukraine, we've talked about them before, having some fantastic players, not just in their national team lineup, but across Europe. Some big name players, including the likes of Malinowski. He's done fantastic in Italy. And what a start for them. 1-0 up against the Swiss. What an opportunity for them to maybe go on and take the first 3 points of the league. Of course, they're in, I think, League A Group 3, if I'm correct right now. Just have a look at some of the other scores, just to see if there's any other goals that have gone in from the other games. Faroe Islands still 0-0, Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0, Turkey 0, Hungary 0, Moldova 0, Kosovo 0 are just some of the other games that the boys aren't necessarily watching tonight. But what I am going to do in terms of the live scores is I am going to change it so it kind of correlates to the time of the games. So right now, it is in the 15th minute of those matches. So just going to very quickly change that up so we can roughly kind of have an idea of when these goals are going in. So let me change that there. There we go. So you can now see roughly, I'm going to change it every 5 minutes of what time our games roughly are at right now. But Ukraine 1, Switzerland 0, good start, and a fantastic opportunity there for them to take the 3 points. So let's have a look. We've had a moment from KD in the Finland-Wales game. What's happened?
Well, arguably, Finland are nearly almost the architects of their own downfall. As a horrible back pass cut out by Daniel James, lays it to Gareth Bale. The first time we've really seen him get on the ball, and he kills an effort just wide. But yeah, it's been a fantastic start for Wales so far. Finland are looking a little bit sluggish.
Certainly are indeed. Might be a potential opportunity for a first goal in that game. Thank you very much, KD. And talk about first opportunities for a goal. What an absolute wonder save from David De Gea. If you're watching the game alongside, it's a long ball that's lofted towards Taylor Kera. Leroy Sané is able to take the ball down. I think the Spanish players have stopped thinking that the referee is going to give a free kick, and Sané, he's curled an absolutely fantastic effort from just inside the box that David De Gea just gets the tip of his fingers to, and he's had a fantastic game so far. His distribution might have not been the best in the first 10 minutes, but he's pulled off some really, really good saves so far in that match to keep the away side in this match. And it's still somehow in this game is 0-0. And of course, as Kimberly said a moment ago, somehow it's still 0-0 between Finland and Wales. Wales sounding like they're really dominating that match in terms of opportunities and things like that. Just actually looking at the stats right now to give you a rough idea, 47% possession for Wales. So not necessarily dominating in terms of possession, but opportunities-wise, sounds like a very, very good game so far. So while we've gone a little bit quiet with opportunities in the matches, let's have a quick look at the chat right now. Noah's put, did PSG win the cup? I'm guessing you mean did PSG win the cup? I assume you mean the Champions League, which they didn't. They lost that to Bayern Munich not too long ago. Sebastian asks, how do you feel about the Messi situation? It's an interesting one, and it's probably one we'll talk about a little bit when we restart our podcast in a couple of weeks' time. But it is looking like now Messi's going to stay at Barcelona for one final season, then leave on a free. But it's an absolute mess. And to be honest, with Lionel Messi and how it is every season, usually it does feel like he is going to leave every season. He's always linked with big clubs, yet always tends to stay. And I think somebody actually alluded to when they were at Copa America and he decided to retire from international duty. He was very, very quickly back not too long after the competition finished from quite a bit of persuasion. So I think, once again, a little bit of persuasion's happened for him. And he's, of course, going to stay at Barcelona now, it's looking like. Although it would be nice to see him in the Premier League. It would be absolutely fantastic to see him in the Premier League, but I really just don't think it's going to happen at this stage. So we're about to hit the 20th minute of these matches. As it currently stands right now, we've had one goal across the board, although I can now change that because we've had 2 goals across the board. For one of the games that the boys aren't watching tonight, Moldova, they've taken the lead against Kosovo. It's 1-0 in that game. The goal coming in from Ion Niculescu on the 19th minute. They've had 30% possession so far, Moldova. Kosovo with 70% possession. Yeah, they've had 2 shots, 2 on target, and they've got the first goal of that game. So we've got 2 goals across the games right now. We're about 20 minutes in. Moldova 1, Kosovo 0, and we've got, of course, Ukraine 0. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 0 in that match. As for our standout game, Germany versus Spain, we've got a free kick here about 30 yards away from the goal, and this is going to go to Spain. And Taylor Kera, who's had quite an eccentric start to the game. He's giving away a bit of a foul here. Ferran Torres going down about 30 yards away from the box. Could there be an opportunity here maybe for Spain to take the lead in this game? Potentially, of course, remember, this would be the first 3 points on the board for the UEFA Nations League. We'll find out in just a moment's time. And Chris has put, of course, he thinks Messi was always going to stay. And I absolutely agree with you. It's the whole player power, you could say, at Barcelona that really works well, especially for a player like Lionel Messi. So here we go. Then we've got a free kick here for Spain. 2 players standing over it. Fabian Ruiz and Thiago, of course, linked with a move to the Premier League with Liverpool. And it looks like here, this one's going to get crossed into the box. Sergio Ramos, the player you'd probably hope that this is going to connect with. He's calling for the ball, and the referee's just going to quickly sort out the wall here. We'll have a check in a moment to see what the other results are across the board in a moment. A couple of complaints here, but it's going to be whipped in, and it's actually Fabian Ruiz who's going to loft it in. It's towards the near post. It's a lovely opportunity, and it's a great chance for Sergio Busquets, of all people, to hit what would have been a fantastic volley into the back of the net, but it's hit not with the greatest precision and trajectory in the world. It's a bit low to be testing towards trap, and it's a simple save for the German goalkeeper. Although Germany here trying to counter-attack, but it isn't going to come to anything. So that is Germany versus Spain right now. 22 minutes on the clock as it currently stands. Of course, as I said, if you are new to the stream and you haven't watched before, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do leave a like and a subscription. As always, we're going to be doing the Nations League goal show throughout pretty much the next week within match day one. So keep your eyes out on the channel. I have just seen somebody who has subscribed, so thank you very much to whoever has subscribed on the channel. If you are new, as always, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do. Chris has put, I'm channel hopping between Darts and Thiago Watch. Keeping an eye out on Thiago, of course, as I said before, linked with a move potentially to Liverpool. Could it happen? Who knows? You'll have to find out. And I think there'll be a lot of fans watching these games tonight. As I said, there'll be a lot of Leeds fans watching the Spain game because of Rodrigo. There'll be a lot of Liverpool fans tonight watching to see how Thiago does. And then, of course, I think there'll be a lot of Bayern Munich fans just watching in general. Great German side. Of course, their recently new signing, Leroy Sané, just joined the club in the last couple of weeks and months as well. They want to see how he does in what actually is probably his first game back, I believe. Of course, on the international stage, he didn't get a great deal of time with Manchester City because he had such a long-term injury. And now he's finally back. So it'll be good to see how he does in this game right now. And Chris has put, I got Darts on TV, Spain on iPad, using all your technology possible to see the two sporting events going on. Of course, the Darts on as well tonight. But we are towards the 25th minute of these games now. And to be honest, not really a great deal of opportunities across the 9 games right now, but maybe we might have another opportunity, and we absolutely have. KL, he's put moment in the chat. So the question is, what's happened at Ukraine versus Switzerland?
It was a really nice opportunity again for Ukraine. I'm just stopping a minute because Vargas has chipped a ball in and it's come to nothing. So basically, Ukraine are coming forward. Xhaka makes a loose pass to the left-hand side, and that right back, Shimchik, I don't know if that's pronounced properly, but we'll go with it, bombs down the right, plays it to Stepanenko. I'm not expecting to keep flurrying forward, but he continues his run, finds Zinchenko. I want to give credit to Morais, who makes a lovely cross run and drags everyone to this side of the field, which left space for Konoplyanka, but he rolled his shot at the near post, so it's still 1-0. But when Ukraine get flowing, they're a very good team going forward.
It's just nice to have an opportunity from any of the games right now because it's been really slow. But thank you very much, KL, because I think we've had another moment, and it's come from the Wales game. It sounds like an onslaught of opportunities. KD, what's happened? I
mean, it's the first time Finland have really ventured forward at any point in the game. It was a ball over the top, and I think it was Poyenpalo. I think that's his name. Apologies if I've absolutely butchered that. Just nodded it down, and it was Katuko who actually put it in, but it's been disallowed. We love a disallowed goal, Josh.
Oh, is that 2 now we've had? Honestly,
that's 2 we've had in this game.
It'd just be nice to have a goal.
The first one was disallowed because of a push by Kiefer Moore, which was definitely one of the softest pushes I've ever seen.
Poor referee decisions there. Thank you very much, KD. It sounds like a pretty good game so far. Finland 0, Wales 0. Somehow, 2 disallowed goals in that game already. We're still waiting for that first real major goal to kickstart that game, but it sounds like a really good match so far and probably much better than the majority of games going on right now. But we've had a goal, and it's from Will. Faroe Islands, Malta, has had a goal. Who's scored?
Yeah, so I just wanted to update you. I don't think you saw the messages. I'm actually watching Bulgaria-Ireland now, but there has been a goal in the Faroe Islands-Malta game, and it's been scored by, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Clement Olsen, someone like that. I don't know who it is, but he's made it 1-0 to Faroe Islands, 25th minute. Good finish, to be fair. But yeah, I'm following that game on the computer, but I'm also watching the Bulgaria-Ireland game on the TV, which hasn't had any chances. No chances so far in this game. It's been a pretty boring one, but yeah, 1-0 to Faroe Islands.
That's perfect. We've had a goal. And Faroe Islands in the lead. Thank you very much, Will. We'll keep you up to date with the Faroe Islands and the Bulgaria game. But we've had a goal, and that's the important thing. We've had a goal. It just feels like we're not getting many opportunities right now within these games. But Faroe Island, they've taken the lead. And you're absolutely spot on there with your pronunciation. It's Clement Olsen, 25th minute of that match. Faroe Islands, they're dominating that game right now. 4 shots, 2 on target, 60% possession. And of course, they've used that dominance to get the first goal of the game. It's 1-0 in that match as it currently stands. And then, of course, as Will said, he's keeping an eye on the other game that's going on, which is between Bulgaria and Ireland, which I'll add that on there. Now, that is still 0-0 as it currently stands in that match. So plenty of opportunities in the games that Will is currently watching. We're about 27 minutes in now, if you're watching along to keep up to date with the goals. There's been a couple of small, slender opportunities between Germany and Spain, but nothing too major to really scream and shout about right now. And we've had another moment. It seems like an onslaught. Finland, Wales, what's going on, KD?
Well, it's the moment that's happening at the moment. Gareth Bale stood over a free kick on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Now, we know what Bale's like with free kicks, Josh. He's standing over it now. The referee's just getting the players in the area sorted out. Blows the whistle. Bale, over the wall into the box, headed away. I'm sorry for wasting all your time. I thought Gareth Bale was going to do something special there.
Oh, you'd think in that opportunity, in that moment with his free kicks, you'd think Bale would put that in, but it's all right. Thank you very much. Another small opportunity in the Finland-Wales game. It's 0-0 as it currently stands. And of course, as we spoke a moment ago, Gareth Bale is playing tonight. Of course, he's going to much prefer playing for his international side than his club side, Real Madrid, where, of course, in Spain, he's probably playing more golf than he's football right now. And you'd think maybe this would be the game where he'd want to really show off his skills for a potential move in the future. Although, let's be real, he's probably quite happy staying at the club right now with the heaps of cash he's getting in Spain. So it's 0-0 as it stands right now in that game between Finland and Wales. We've got an opportunity here in the Germany-Spain game. Toni Kroos bombing forward here with, I wouldn't say he's got a great deal of pace, but he's using as much pace as he possibly can to bomb forward. It's not the greatest ball in the world from the German midfielder, and it eventually does lead to a Spain counter-attack that hasn't come to anything. So we've got a kind of moment, KL saying here, in the Ukraine-Switzerland game. Kind of moment.
Yeah, it's usually something like I see it in the game and I probably wouldn't come to you like a blaze shot or something. But I just need to talk to you, Josh, because we watched the Europa League semi-final. We thought Piatov was maybe a bit nervous. No, he just cannot distribute any sort of football. I've got to admit, I've counted 4 times he's given the ball back to Switzerland in the last 10 minutes. And twice they've almost been caught out. Sadly, Zuba blazed it over, and the other one led to a corner. But I just came to tell you that Piatov can't distribute for love nor money.
Maybe he's just seen Zuba's Lukaku, and he's having flashbacks of the Europa League semi-final.
Maybe he's nervous for a nothing game against Switzerland. You never know.
But no, there we go. A little opportunity. Thank you very much, Kyle. It's nice to have someone to talk to. I never usually do. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 0 right now. I mean, it's been a good game. We've had a goal in that one, which is all that matters right now. But a little opportunity in that game. Piatov really trying to give Switzerland an opportunity to get back into the game. What's he doing? I mean, if you watch the Europa League semi-finals, you'll know that his distribution was absolutely horrendous. And that was only a couple of weeks ago. So you'd have thought maybe they would have tried practicing a little bit more on his distribution. It sounds like he's not done anything at all with it. And, of course, Switzerland could still get back in that game. We've just hit the 30-minute mark in the Germany-Spain game. So I'm going to update the timer, of course, so you can kind of roughly get an idea of what time these games are at right now. To give you an update, there's not really been a great deal of goals across the board. Germany 0, Spain 0. I mean, it's been a pretty decent game so far. And just saying that now, there was an opportunity there for Germany to come forward. Leroy Sané, he's hacked down. The referee's played on here. And it looked for a second there that Leroy Sané wasn't going to get up and was injured. But it seems like he's all right here, which is good news. Of course, just come back quite recently from a hefty injury. Although just looking at him right now, he is hobbling a little bit on the pitch. So not good to see. But it's 0-0 in that game. Couple of good opportunities for either side, which is good to see. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 0. We've had the only goal in that game come from Andrei Yarmolenko in the 14th minute. Switzerland dominate possession-wise, but Ukraine making the most of their opportunities so far in that game. Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0. To give you a rough idea on the stats for that game, it's fairly even. Bulgaria having a couple of opportunities on goal so far. Ireland with no shots on target. Russia 0, Serbia 0. Serbia having plenty of opportunities, as Rowan said earlier. They've got plenty of talent across the pitch, and you'd expect them to win this game tonight. But of course, Russia, who had a fantastic run at the 2018 World Cup, aren't doing too bad in that game, although they've had 66% possession, Serbia, right now, so they're doing not too bad at all in their match. Slovenia 0, Greece 0. Looking like a fairly good game, actually. There's been 9 shots already, 2 on target for Greece, 1 on target for Slovenia. As I said, that's 0-0 as it currently stands. And Turkey, Hungary. Hungary absolutely battering Turkey right now. 7 shots, 2 on target, 56% possession to Turkey's 2 shots, none on target. You've got to remember that Turkey had a fantastic qualifying campaign, of course, for the World Cup, beating France in the process, but it stays 0-0 as it currently stands in that match. Let's have a look at the comments, see how the boys are doing, how everybody is doing, of course, as you watch your games. Prince of the Underground has put, nice to see Faroe Islands winning, even if it's just Malta. Small note for KD, that Liverpool kit is not wet. Chris has put, it's the KD effect, goals disallowed in his game, if only it helped Manchester United in the 19-20 season. Oh my lord. He's getting feisty already. Chris has put, Liverpool away kit is not good too. Nike's supposed to be good at making kits, not a beach wave design. And then, of course, Prince has put, yeah, but not wet levels are bad. And, of course, he's put, I mean, imagine calling it worse than West Brom's one. So a bit of a kind of debate there about the kits in the chat. 33 minutes in right now. Germany, Spain. It's the main game of the night. And, of course, as I said, there's been a fair amount of opportunities for both teams, but not really the lacking edge from either team right now. 3 shots, 3 on target for Germany, 2 shots, 1 on target for Spain. And it's been a pretty decent match overall, but no one's really stood out in the game as of yet. And we've got about 12 minutes left. And I don't know whether both managers will be disappointed or just not care in general right now. I mean, it's been really early for this competition to start. You know, we've already had the Community Shield go on not too long ago. We've gone straight into these international fixtures, which technically, if the calendar was going as it usually would have been on time anyway. But of course, the coronavirus means that this is actually kind of the starting point of the season within the calendar, and it's weird to watch international games first. But I think a lot of players, they'll be coming back from their breaks, their holidays, and things like that, and they'll have had not a great deal of time to really work tactics-wise on these games. Of course, you've only got to think about a player like Thiago Alcantara playing in the Champions League final about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So a little bit slow in some of the games right now, but it's not really slow in Rowan's game because there's been an opportunity. But is it to Russia or Serbia, Rowan?
Well, it's none. I thought I'd put a chance just to see. I'd like to say this game might be the most boring game I've watched in terms of just this. I think this genuinely been, from what I've seen, 1 shot on target from Russia, and it was lovely. The ball went in box. I think it was Juba gets up high, and keeper makes an incredible save. And then on the other side, Milinkovic-Savic shoots wide. This game, I spent half my time on my phone. It's been that there's nothing. Like, we haven't even had like lovely play down the ring. I think Kostic is causing Russia a lot of damages, but I thought I'd just come give you an update. Kostic probably going to be the difference maker here.
Thank you very much, Rowan. I mean, it's been pretty dire in most of the games so far right now. And I guess that's the thing, what we were saying before. It is just a case, I guess there'll be a lot of players who have had their breaks and holidays and will just come back fairly recently. Mainly those, of course, playing in the Champions League and the Europa League. Take, for example, Serbia. I'm just trying to think of any of the players who really played in some of the major competitions. I don't actually think they have, to be honest. Just looking at the team right now. Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic, they've all not really played in the competitions. Gdelj was with Sevilla, so he's actually one of the players that would have very recently come back. And I'm hoping it is just a case with these first kind of couple of nights that it is just getting back into the rhythm again, getting a bit of a flow, just kind of recognizing that this is the beginning of the season, not the end, and just really getting a feel for the ball again. Some of these players won't have played probably for months, depending on where they play across, not just Europe, but across the world, and whether their leagues did start up again or not. But it's a real shame. Hopefully we'll get some goals going in soon, because looking at some of the other games right now, we still, as far as I'm aware, we have only had 3 goals across the 9 live games, which is a real shame right now. Chris has put, Gary Anderson just beat Michael Swift 8-2. Gary Anderson won a win away from playoffs, but if Van Gogh loses, Anderson qualifies playoffs. Just give you an update, Josh, on your favourite Stars player. Cheers, because I would have had it on right now, but I'd probably get too focused on it at the same time. Cheers for that, because I'm hoping Gary Anderson does get through, and I'll be watching it probably tomorrow on the side. You can at least look at the Liverpool one while you get blind, looking at West Brom's green and Newcastle's yellow. Interesting one. And then he's put about Manchester City's white one. Looks like a bunch of sperms. Whether you disagree or not, I don't know. But Germany are coming forward here. Leroy Sané, who, thankfully is okay and has continued on. And as I said, about 2 or 3 minutes ago, was hobbling. Bit of a needless tackle, I would have said, from one of the Spain players. Absolutely hacked him down, but he's all right, still playing. And not the greatest of opportunities there. And I think you could say that across the board for the majority of these games tonight. Just looking, Will's put back in, scores still the same. No goals in the Ireland game, still 1-0 Faroe Islands versus Malta. Any other goals across the board right now? There hasn't, no. So hopefully we'll get a couple more goals before the end of the half. We're 37 minutes in here between Germany and Spain. It's 0-0 right now. Spain just starting to get a little bit more possession in this match. It's not the tiki-taka style you would expect, probably because tiki-taka died a few weeks ago with Barcelona, and I'm pretty sure Spain wouldn't want to go back to that same kind of tactic right now, especially with the Germans. Although you could say not a great deal of those German players from the Bayern Munich side are actually playing tonight. I mean, you've got to look at the lineup, realistically speaking. And if you look at the defence tonight, it's Emre Can, Sewell and Rudiger. So only Sewell is playing there. Kehrer, Gundogan, Draxler, Kroos and Gosens. No one really there apart from Taylor Kehrer, who played in the final. Then, of course, Leroy Sané and Werner. Now, it's saying online, Germany playing a 3-5-2, but they are shifting formations. So Rudiger is at points coming into the midfield, which is really interesting to see Rudiger as a CDM. I think he might have played it at points when he was at Stuttgart back in his day, but of course at Chelsea, we recognise him as the centre-back, not as a CDM, trying to steal David Luiz's former role. But we've got a free kick here for Germany, 38 minutes on the clock. It's in a relatively decent position here to hit this one. And if there's one player you'd expect to probably take this on, it is Toni Kroos, who was pretty much told Nicholas Sewell, who wanted to take it, to back off, because I'm pretty sure he's going to shoot this one. And David De Gea, who's had a pretty good first 40 minutes, a couple of all-right saves in this match, has an opportunity to make another fantastic save. And Leroy Sané's come over as well to take this alongside Toni Kroos. And it looks like they are going to hit this. So we'll have to see here whether we do get a goal in this game just before half-time. It's about 35 yards out. It would be a very speculative effort. And Leroy Sané hasn't taken the opportunity on goal. And he's decided to loft it towards Nicholas Sewell, who's in an offside position. It's a real waste there of a free kick for Germany. It's a lovely technique, but Sewell's run miles too early, and he's blatantly offside. And, well, the flag goes up almost instantly. And as I said before, it's a free kick that is wasted in a really good opportunity to be able to loft it into the box or even take it on. And it goes, of course, for a free kick for David De Gea to take. Spain here coming on the counter-attack from that free kick. It was taken short. Lofted towards Ferran Torres, who takes an awkward touch here. He's had to come outside of the box, but he's taken the shot on just from the edge of the box. It's deflected, and it's going to go out for a corner. Can Spain maybe here get an opening goal in this match? We're 40 minutes on the clock, so I'll change the scores on the doors right now. Not really a great deal of goals to talk about. Just having a look right now. Rowan has said there's an opportunity in this game, and I'm absolutely delighted because my mouth is dry. Rowan, what's happened in the Russian Serbia game?
It's actually a genuine thing, and it's Bakev. This is an open net. Ball comes across from, I think it's Dajuba again. I'm just going to check. Number 22, yeah. And it's Bakev. He gets in front of his man, and instead of hitting it with his right foot, literally flat foot, he tries to use the outside of his left foot, and he puts it over the bar. He's not there, and that's a howler. He just needs to hold his right foot out and dink it in. Instead, he tries to use the outside of his left foot. I think they may have gone back for a foul, but one of the players went down. Hold up. Oh, it's not on purpose. I don't know who it is. He goes down. It's just Dazuba who stands on his thigh. But I'll let you go.
Can I just say, praise the Lord, we've had an opportunity. Thank you very much, Rowan. It's Russia 0, Serbia 0 right now. Benelda's in the stream. Welcome, Benelda. He says, looks like I haven't missed anything. Yeah, you haven't missed anything, although you might have not missed something now because Will says there's a goal. But who's it to, Will?
It's a goal in the Faroe Islands Malta game. I think I missed it. It was about 3 minutes ago because my internet went down. But yeah, Malta have equalised. It's Jürgen Degabriel. So it's 1-1 Malta. Been an even game. They both had 4 shots on goal, both 2 on target. So it's been pretty tight. And Malta have tied it up now. And it's probably deserved. But yeah, 1-0. And it's still 0-0 in the Bulgaria-Ireland game. And I've got to be honest, this has been one of the most boring games of football I've ever watched in my life.
Can you believe the fact that Faroe Islands and Malta has the most goals in it right now? And it's probably looking like the best game of football. But, although thank you very much, Will, somebody he's pointing at me right now on the bottom of the screen. I can see on the bottom of the screen, everybody's watching the game. He's pointing because no, there hasn't just been 2 goals in one game. There's 2 goals in his game. Kieran L., what's happened?
Thank you very much. You were saying, and I'm thinking, do not count out Ukraine versus Switzerland. Seferovic, the number 9, picks it up about 25 yards out, cuts inside on his left, puts an arrow, and he just drills it into the bottom corner from, I've got a bit, about 25 yards. It's a wonderful strike, and it's 1-1. We've got the most goals, kind of.
There we go. We're getting goals now towards the end. Thank you very much, Kyle. It's all square in this one. It's Ukraine 1, Switzerland 1, and we're getting goals now, which is fantastic to see. Of course, it's been a bit of a very slow first 40 minutes across the board in pretty much every single game, apart from Faroe Islands. Malta, of all games, has right now got the joint most goals, 1-1 in that game right now. I mean, fair play to Will. Incredible pronunciation on the players. The Malta player, of course, Jürgen Degabriel in the 37th minute. With that goal. So it's 1-1 between Faroe Islands and Malta. Just have a quick look at the comments right now. Jessalund, welcome to the stream, buddy. Says, yep, there really hasn't been anything going on. It's been a stale. If he was Claude right now doing a watch along, he'd have said these games are stale because they've been really, really poor so far. But hopefully they can get better in the second half. Prince of the Underground has put a story from the 2014 World Cup. Portugal lost 4-1 to Germany in the group stage. And many Brazilians in our country started joking about how weak we were. Yeah, you know what happened a few weeks later. I think we all do. We'll not bring that up. It's in the past now. It's 6 years on. We'll not bring it up. But yeah, no, it's been a very, very quiet first 40 minutes across the board in the games. We're getting a few goals now to keep you up to date with the scores across the doors throughout Europe and these games in the Nations League. Right now, Germany 0, Spain 0. These are the games that we're watching right now. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 1. Russia 0, Serbia 0. Finland 0, Wales 0. Faroe Islands 1, Malta 1, and Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0. In terms of the other games that we're not watching, but I'm keeping a very, very close eye on tonight to see if there's goals elsewhere. Latvia 0, Andorra 0. That finished, of course, that was played at 5 o'clock. Latvia went down to 10 men in the 70th minute. Slovenia 0, Greece 0. There's been a couple of decent opportunities in that game. Greece looking the better of the two sides. Turkey 0, Hungary 0. Hungary battering Turkey right now, not being a good start for the home side in that game. And Moldova 1, Kosovo 0. It was Ion Niculescu who scored the goal in the 19th minute. So 1-0 in that game. So we've had a couple of goals here and there, but nothing really to scream and shout about across the games that we're not watching right now. Although the games that we are watching, as always, be greatly appreciated if you do leave a like and a subscription. We're going to be doing this UEFA Nations League goal show across the next couple of days as the competition, I was going to say, heats up, but to be honest, right now it's heating up. Not at all. It's been really, really quiet so far. It's heating up as much as the freezer does. It's been really, really poor, just really quiet right now. And just to give you a rough idea, it is half time in the Germany-Spain game, and it is 0-0. It's been an all right game. There's been a couple of decent chances here and there, but nothing to scream and shout about for either sides. And I think we're probably going to be saying for the majority of the games, it's going to finish 0-0 at half time. But hopefully we'll see a couple of changes. I do think they can make 5 substitutions, if I am correct, in the international competitions as well. I don't know. Anybody who knows whether they can or not, do tell me in the chat. But it's 0-0 in that game right now, and I assume we'll very, very shortly see the majority of games hit the half-time mark. And we'll bring the boys in, of course, at half-time and just kind of talk through the UEFA Nations League and what we think about it so far. So 0-0 between Germany and Spain. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 1 right now. Russia 0, Serbia 0. Finland 0, Wales 0. Faroe Islands 1, Malta 1. Can you believe that? That is one of the best games to watch right now in terms of the amount of goals. And Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0. So just have a check right now. Rowan has said his game is at halftime. Rowan is currently watching Russia 0, Serbia 0. Halftime in that game, Rowan, has it been a thriller?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Oh, goals, shots. No, it's been fucking boring. 2 major chances from both sides. You had Bakev completely missing an open net, and you had Milinkovic-Savic putting it just a little bit wide. I think I was going to say that Serbia looked like the most energetic side, but Russia have sort of gritted through, and then they've attacked them well. But again, just nothing's really come from any of their attacks.
Been a shame, huh? The thing is, as you said there, with the open goal and the other chances, if it was 1-1 or 2-1, it would have been a very different game. But it doesn't seem like anybody across football can put the ball into the back of the net right now. But we'll keep you in now, because I think a couple of the games are going into halftime, and I can see the boys putting halftime in the chat. We'll bring up Will first. He's currently covering Faroe Islands and Malta and Bulgaria and Ireland 0-0. But which game is 0-0 right now, or are both games 0-0?
It's the Bulgaria-Ireland game that's 0-0. It's been very boring. Limited chances for both sides. I mean, both teams have gotten behind a couple of times, but they've been offside. And the Faroe Island Malta game, we were mocking it before the start of the stream, but it's been the best game so far. Both teams have been even. They both had the same amount of shots, similar possession, and it's 1-1. Faroe Islands took the lead through Clements Olsen, and then Malta have equalised through Jürgen Degabriel. So that's probably been the most exciting game so far.
There we go. So it's crazy to say Faroe Islands 1, Malta 1, best game of the night. It's looking, although you can't say it's the best game of the night right now, because it's half-time in Kieran L's game. He's currently covering Ukraine versus Switzerland. That is the other game with 2 goals. 1-1 at half-time. Has it been much better than the other games that we've been watching?
No. If I'm being 100% honest, I think it's one of them goals doesn't make games. And it may be 1-1. I have seen a screamer, and a screamer hit the bar. So if you say it, to be fair, compared to your games, this is a thriller. But compared to football, it's very, very dull. But, Switzerland dominating possession. Attempts on target, we've had 3. So, and 2 of them have gone in. But, Switzerland had more possession. Ukraine looked dangerous more on the counter. And as Rowan said, really, it's not really much to report apart from the 2 goals.
It's been quiet so far, which is a real shame. And of course, the other game and the final game to go in at half-time, in terms of the ones that we're watching, Kieran D, it sounded like a very good first 20-25 minutes. It's gone a little bit quiet since then. Finland 0, Wales 0. What's it been like so far in your game, KD?
Shite.
Sounds like it's been like that across the board.
To simply put it, it's been very poor quality, I'm not going to lie. It is being played at a pre-season level, which was probably expected, but Finland are just so disjointed, and they don't know how to string 2 passes together. For Wales, it's just like their opportunities they're getting, which can't put in back of the net, and it's been a very dull last 20 minutes, like you said.
It's perfectly, as you put it a moment ago, it really does feel like across the board, we're watching pre-season games or just friendlies in general. And I guess when the competition was first made, I think a lot of people did look at them as if they were friendlies, although you can say this year it's a very much more complex situation because of the coronavirus and that. In terms of the other games, the ones that we aren't watching tonight, we're keeping a close eye on, although what's the point of keeping a close on them right now? Because they're all 0-0. Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0 is the one that Will's watching right now. Russia 0, Serbia 0 is the one that Rowan's watching. Faroe Islands 1, Malta 1, Germany 0, Spain 0. As I said, a couple of all right opportunities in that game, but nothing to scream and shout about. Slovenia 0, Greece 0. It's been a pretty decent game for Greece so far, but no goals in that one. Turkey 0, Hungary 0. Turkey have had 10 shots for a target, dominating Turkey right now. It only seems like a matter of time before they do score. And then, of course, Moldova 1, Kosovo 0, the only game that we're not watching which has had a goal, although Moldova only had 29% possession. Kosovo had 71. Are absolutely battering them right now, but Moldova have taken the lead in that game. UEFA Nations League, what have you guys thought of it? Because last season, of course, we had the tournament. We weren't alive. We weren't alive. I feel like Rowan won't be alive with this game right now. we didn't have the channel, is what I was supposed to say. We weren't alive. Of course, we didn't have the channel back then. We kind of saw the first tournament run out last season. England made it, of course, to the knockout stages, the semi-final. Do you think he's going to live up to the hype again this season, or because of the coronavirus situation, do you think that people aren't really going to take as much notice this year compared to last year?
If we get games like this, people won't care. I think we had some half-decent games last year, but I think the problem is because there is so many games going at once, it is fun, but you might only... There might be 9 games, but one game might be a goal fest, or even like a minimum 3 goals, where you are going to get a lot of draws or a lot of boring 1-0s or 1-0s. So
I love football, but international football might be one of the least exciting things to watch as a football fan. Just purely based on the fact, like Rowan said, every game seems to be played at 0-0, no matter what stage of the season it's at. And you barely ever see, for example, like these two, I know Spain and Germany are going at it. You barely ever see like one of the smaller teams beat one of the bigger teams, just based pretty much because it goes on quality at the end of the day. And those sides like Germany and Spain just have such better quality sides than the other people. And it's just not competitive at all, and it's not entertaining enough for me. I hate international football. World Cup, Euro Cup, Europa Championship, whatever the fuck it's called. Brilliant. Friendlies, absolutely crap.
It's one of those, as you kind of said a second ago, like the pace of the Germany-Spain game, which is the game that I'm watching, it's not been too bad at all. It does feel very friendly-like, but there's been a couple of opportunities where this game could have quite easily been like 1-1 or 2-1 to Germany or Spain. But in terms of the other matches right now, it just seems really, really bland. And looking at the comments right now, sorry for not kind of going through them a moment ago. Chris has put, what's more exciting, Rowan boring F1 Grand Prix or Russia versus Serbia?
Prince Underground has the best, the Russian GP. If you combine them both together, but at least with a boring F1 race, there's at least halfway through where you get a bit of spice in your action when there's a pit stop or there's a random crash. With this, it's just both teams doing F all politely.
It really has felt like that for the majority of games. 5757 Sanjay Kumar says, hi bros, I'm from India. Who will win these matches? To be honest, it feels like no one's going to win any of the matches right now, if we're being quite frankly honest. It feels like every game is going to finish a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Not the fans. Anyone but the fans win.
So dead.
Oh, it's awful. I tell you what, if I was a fan, I'd be very thankful that you can't enter the stadiums right now, because what is across the board is just pure tosh, to put it very nicely. Chris has put exactly what I was thinking with the way that this tournament is going. So no more Nations League watchalongs if games are shite at the moment. You've got to give it time. That's the thing. You've got to remember, it is only day number 1. It's the first game that as I said before, some of these players, depending on their leagues, might have not played for a couple of months, you know. Take, for example, Premier League sides. They, of course, don't start till next week. Pretty much all leagues across the board haven't really fully started yet, apart from the Scottish Premiership, one of the main leagues that started up. So you've got to give it a little bit of time, and maybe it might not be match day 1 where we see this kick in. It might be match day 2 or 3, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, when players have got games under their belt. But as for now, it is a case of these games have been a little bit quiet. But now let's put it as well perfectly, because so many players have been tested positive as well. Hope they all heal fast and safely. There's going to be a lot of players missing for some of the big teams that can't go to these matches, although if they're watching them right now, they're probably thankful they're not playing at all. Chris put, only international tournaments we look forward to is the World Cup and the Euros. Do you agree? I mean, there was a lot of hype for the Nations League knockout stages, and I know that was because of England being in it, and everybody was hyped, thinking we're going to win it. But it wasn't bad, the knockout stages of the Nations League.
I think the reason that the World Cup and the Euros is a thing is, even if you're sat there watching bloody Panama versus Costa Rica or whatever a game is, it is a boring game. You can't. It's a stupid type. But it's the thing of, if that team wins, that's 3 points. They could genuinely go through. I think with the Nations League, it's like there's not the same level of excitement. That is there with
the tournament. Like, one of these small teams winning, how does it help them, like, in this tournament, move up the leagues, whatever? I just see it as very confusing, to be honest.
If they, the kind of the way it works is, for the lower echelon teams, so the likes of the Gibraltars and the San Marinos, if they win their groups, they do move up the rankings. So they'll move up the Nation League groups as well. So that towards the bottom, they do shift about. And it also helps their Euro qualifying. Not for this Euros, of course, coming up, but for the next one.
I think... Go on, Karen.
Are you sure? Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
What I think is different between the Nations League and the World Cup and the Euros is, for me, the World Cup and Euros are special attractions. They come once every 4 years. They're not repetitive. They're not, with the Nations League, we're going to see this every single year, so it's going to lose its shine. Maybe last year, because it was the first year, it's that new toy you get. You want to play with it straight away. Whereas with the World Cup and the Euros, because they're every 4 years, it doesn't give us time to be bored with them. Whereas I think the Nations League and friendlies especially, I'm glad they've abolished friendlies. At least this is competitive. But, so that's what I believe is the reason we don't view these as much as we view others, is they are special because they come along so infrequently.
I mean, we've seen, of course, last year that was the first tournament. We've seen some absolute crackers of games. The first game that comes to mind for me was the England-Spain game. Was an absolutely fantastic match to watch. Spain were really good on the day, but England came out on top. I think it was a 3-2 win. And there was other games across the board that were good. I think even though we lost it, the England-Netherlands game was a really good game to watch with the way that Netherlands played. I think Germany had a couple of good games. And for the bigger teams, the likes of Germany's and your Spain's and England's, it is going to be a little bit more competitive because you're coming up against the very best sides. But right now, because we've just started the season again, for many players, it is their first game. Just looking at the comments, I think people agree as well. Prince of the Underground said the only good international games are the finals of each tournament, the Euros and the World Cup.
If you look at a different nation, I think we were on about it the other day about America, how football isn't really their main sport. They've got NFL, baseball, hockey, basketball, a lot of sports that are held higher in America than football is. But when it's the World Cup, that's when Americans suddenly care about football. I think in our nation especially, football is probably one of the best sports. It's one of the most watched sports. That's probably why we hold national stuff like for example the Nations League when we got there. That's why it's probably means a little bit more to England fans and stuff, and we kind of have more time for it because we got quite far in it. But for America, they only see their international team, football team play in the World Cup, for example. Of course, they don't have the Euros because they're not in it. So it's different in different places, I think.
I mean, if you look at the South American, I wouldn't say it's the South American's equivalent of the Nations League, but you look at the Copa America, how well that is run. It's a massive tournament in South America that runs a little bit more regularly than other tournaments, and that works well. And I think there's a little bit of tweaking to do with the Nations League. It's very, very young. Remember, it's only in its second season, so there will be time to adapt and change it to improve how the tournament works. But I think because of this season and the way that it is, it's the start of the footballing calendar now. It could take some time for these games to really kick in and just the kind of the overall level of this tournament improve over time. Alexa I find it fascinating that after centuries of imperialism and arrogance in every segment, that people are surprised at England expecting to win everything. It's in their blood to be snobby and arrogant, with exceptions. No disrespect to anybody, but it's just a fact. Same thing for Americans. Do we agree or not?
Yes and no. I think a lot of people. I don't, but I think a lot. I think where it says, but I think a lot of the English public think, "Oh, we create the game. We should be the best at it," which is just not true. I genuinely don't think we're top 10. If you look at it of all time in football, there's only maybe a select few sports where we're the best at it. I think rugby's up there. I think cycling we're up there. And look at the sports I've just said. Fucking cycling.
Tennis. We're good at tennis. We're good at the long jump. We're good at the long jump.
And technically, we can't even claim it because it's Scottish, not British, Andy Murray. So we can't even claim him.
Oh, no. If he loses, he's Scottish. If he wins, he's British.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of them. Like I have Scottish family, and they talk about English. They will never admit we're good. Even if we get to a semi-final, they'll laugh at us getting knocked out, even though they didn't make the tournament. So they did say to us, we don't mind taking the piss out of ourselves in Scotland because we admit we're crap, whereas England refused to admit they're crap sometimes, and that was what their view was. I do believe sometimes we believe we are above other people. But again, I think sometimes we take it piss. When everyone was "it's coming home," I think everyone took it seriously. And me personally took it as a joke. I thought it's never going to come home, but we can say it will for as long as it.
By the way, my game has kicked off.
The thing is,
That's all right.
if we'd have beaten Belgium in that third game, where it was like playing to lose pretty much, we'd have had to face Japan, who almost knocked out Belgium, Brazil, and France.
Oh, that could be a penalty. I'm sorry.
We already had an opportunity.
I'm sat watching James Collins' fat bald head.
I think Pavlovic has brought down Bakaya, but I don't know who it's for. It's a yellow card for. I think it's a penalty for Russia.
Good start.
Well, we've already got opportunities. I'll kick everybody off as the games start because I know our Germany's playing games starting. Let's get everybody going. We'll keep Will.
We've got a sub. Zach Steffen. No, not Zach. Renato Steffen is coming on for Switzerland. That's what I think. It might be Mbolo because no, it's not Mbolo. It's Zuba. So there you go.
Not Zach Steffen, the goalkeeper.
It is a penalty, by the way. He does just run into the back of him.
There we go. Then I'll put KL off. Let's find out what happens. Russia's Serbia. We're underway with the second half.
I think he's called Pavlovic. I put this in the chat. Right. Look at Sky Sports how they've got his name.
That is Pavlo at #263.
I think it's Pavlo and #263. So, but yeah, he just runs into the back of Bakayev. He just shunts him. He pulls the arm across, which I think is the big giveaway. I think he handed out a yellow card. Bakayev's limping off. Like, he's limping severely. He's definitely going to be took off here. But
which is the worst thing. You know what? We're about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in your game. We've already got an injury.
It is a penalty though. Dajuba is going to step up. Can Dmitrovic step up? He made an incredible save earlier on in the game from a corner. Juba. How do you say it? Juba? He's had him there. He puts it in the bottom left. He runs up and then he just stalls himself, lets Dmitrovic jump early, and he slots it bottom left. Dmitrovic goes the opposite way, and Russia are 1-0 up.
Well, there we go. It might make your game a little bit more feisty now.
Come on.
Fantastic to see. Thank you very much, Rowan. Russia 1, Serbia 0. We have a goal to kick us off with the start of the second half. And, of course, it was a penalty which was given there a moment ago to Russia. An injury there for Bakayev, I think, who's had to come off. But we have the first goal, and hopefully now we'll start to see a little bit more drama in these games. So we've just started in the Spain match. It says 45 minutes. I'm going to update it every 5 minutes. So you've got a rough idea of how these games are going on. To look at the comments very quickly while some of these games do kick off. Chris thinks the Nations League should be every 4 years, like the Euros and World Cup. If it's every year, as Kim said, it takes the shine off of it. Jesselyn says, Norway haven't been in a major tournament in my lifetime. Still wait, you're in the Euro playoffs. You might be able to do it, although you do play Serbia, which Alexis put on. And once Serbia beats you, you won't be there. God's sake, they're already fighting in the chat. Going to be good that with the playoffs. We will be, by the way, for the Euro playoffs when they are. I think it's in October or November time for the semi-finals and the finals. We will be doing live watch-alongs for those games. So do keep your eyes out for those ones, because at least we will see goals and drama in those matches, because they will go to extra time and penalty. So keep your eyes out for those ones. At least they're very good international fixtures, because there's something on the line in those games. But we're back underway in all of the matches. Let's hope that that first 45 minutes was just a blip. People get a feel for the ball and we get some goals. But, of course, we've already had our first goal of the second half, and it was Russia who've taken the lead against Serbia, which is fantastic to see. What a start. And hopefully it gets the other sides across the 9 games that are being played right now to score a few more goals. And we've already had an opportunity here for Germany to come forward. Not the greatest opportunity in the world. It was a cross that was kind of put towards Leroy Sané, a bit of an awkward opportunity for the German forward. He's right now playing as a striker alongside Timo Werner to slot into the back of the net, but it doesn't really come to anything, as I said before. And I do think in the main game tonight, which is Germany versus Spain, that we will see a goal soon, because both teams are going for it and they've had a couple of good opportunities. And while Kevin Trapp's just given the ball away here to Spain, it might be an opportunity now. It's lofted in towards the path of Rodrigo, who can't get the ball, and it was a low cross whipped in towards the new Leeds forward from Ferran Torres, but Kevin Trapp makes up for his mistake there. And well, we could have seen the first goal in our major match tonight going to Spain, but it doesn't come to anything there. And hopefully that's the start of a couple of good opportunities in this game, because as I said, both sides, they've looked all right tonight. Probably one of the better games across the board in terms of opportunities, but we haven't had a goal as of yet. So hopefully we will see that soon. Of course, if you've got any questions and comments in the chat, don't forget to put your questions in, whether it is international football related or just questions in general about the Premier League and things like that. Put them in the chat and we'll talk through them throughout the next 45 minutes. Just looking at Chris Welch's comment right now, he's put bookmakers making England favourites to win Euros. Do me a favour, we haven't won anything since 1966. Yeah, 1966, you heard that right. Be even more years if we carry on as we are. And we didn't do too bad at the World Cup, but to come back to your guys' points earlier, I think there was a lot of people who were taking it as a joke. A lot of people that took it a little bit too seriously. We were never going to win. I think I remember watching the game, actually, the game against Croatia, and I said to my mate, we watched it on the big kind of screen, I said that I think Mandzukic and Perisic would both score in that game. Lo and behold, it happened. And Croatia were just a miles better team than us. Let's be real, they've got better players in some certain positions. And you could see in the final, of course, when they came up against France, how well they played. It was a fantastic final, likes of Perisic, Modric having really, really good games. And I think had we have got to that final against France, we would have probably maybe lost, 2-3, 4-0. Maybe we'd have scored a goal, but I highly doubt it. But I agree with some of your points. Some people do take it a little bit too seriously. And I know we were talking about America earlier and how they get hyped up for the tournament. Jesselyn Punt, they didn't even qualify, so we won't see them at the World Cup, which is a real shame. For many fans, because I guess the American team's got, even better over the last couple of years. You look at the likes of Weston McKennie, Matt Miazga, I think it's one of the Americans. Trying to think of players off the top of my head. Kieran's giving me a very stern look. I really couldn't think of any American players off the top of my head. Still can't. Somebody help me out. And we've had a goal. Forget about that for a second. We've had a goal. Germany have taken the lead. It's 1-0, and it's Chelsea's new forward, Timo Werner, who scored the goal. And as I said it a moment ago, it looked like we were going to see a goal for Germany or Spain at some point. And we finally got it. It's an incredible lofted ball towards the path of Toni Kroos. Lays it off for Timo Werner, who dances round the defence. It's just towards the middle of the pitch. It's a simple finish. David De Gea is not going to get there for it. It's a low just kind of seeing an opportunity now here. Sergio Ramos, he's really made hard work there, Sergio Ramos, of that defensive opportunity. He's kind of shuffling around the pitch, and it's a fantastic ball from Gosens into Timo Werner, dances around Ramos, low shot into the back of the net, and we have our first goal. To give you an idea, Tim Howard doesn't play anymore with the international team, but Bobby Wood, Gio Reyna, Aaron Johansson, thank you very much. Tyler Adams as well, Kale. You've saved me on that one. At least some of you boys have named some American players because my mind went blank. KD, there's been a moment in his game between Finland and Wales, but no goal. What's happened?
I have no idea how Finland haven't scored. So originally it's a corner that's come in. It's been cleared away. They've put it back into the box. Pukki misses his header, and it comes to Väisänen, the centre-back, at the back post. Easy volley. Me and you could have scored it, Josh. And he hits the post. Still 0-0.
Somehow still 0-0. Well, I don't think I could finish it because I'm shit at football, so I would have probably missed it as well. But let's be real, it does sound like an opportunity that most people should have scored, and Leroy Sané is coming forward. It could have been 2-0 Germany there. Spain looking a little bit nervy at the back right now. Leroy Sané using his pace, getting forward, and this time Sergio Ramos is able to do the defensive work, and it's actually Thiago that's had to come back there and do defensive work. If you're a Liverpool fan, sign him up right now. That's just a 20 million worth tackle there. Incredible tackle there from the Spanish midfielder who's able to clear the ball away. And to be honest, it really should be Germany 2, Spain 0. I thought it was Ramos there. It was nowhere to be seen. And we've got a corner here. It's taken short this time. It's going to be lofted into the box. It's hit short. It's actually gone towards the path of De Gea there, who's had to clear his lines. It's come back to Germany again. Julian Draxler here with the ball. And Germany looking very good in this first few minutes. Kieran has put update. Piatov still can't pass. I don't think it looks like he ever can pass, to be honest. And Rowan has put there's been a danger free kick. Let's get him in. Russia 1, Serbia 0. Rowan, you're on mute right now. I can't hear you.
Well, you've currently got a danger free kick. It always happens. You've currently take a quick. Oh, he's still outside the box. Shot outside the box. It's blocked again by Serbia. It was a free kick out the box, and it looked like two centre backs standing over it. They pass it short. and it's blocked by the Serbian defence and then blocked again. But Russia are coming again. They're still not stopping. I can't believe I'm on mute. And they're going to take it to the wing now. And I think, is it slow down? No, he's onside. Russia are still coming. Serbia do. We get it clear with Goodell. Yeah, they get it clear.
Good opportunity, though. There's always one time where we're on mute. Every time.
The thing is, because I put it on mute before, because I was speaking to the... But I was off camera. I was like, why did I turn it? Why did I put it on mute? Oh, there's some danger, high voltage, though, so I'll leave you.
There we go. Russia 1, Serbia 0. Good chance there. Potential free kick, but it doesn't equate to anything right now. And I can see Kira typing. I'll save you typing what's happened in your game.
Thank you very much. Sorry, there was just a chance, and I was just about to type it in. It was a whip ball into the box. Ruben Vargas got his head on it. It's a bouncing ball, but it bounces just off the post. And by the way, it's now 2 times already in this half that Piatov has passed to Switzerland. He is their best player with the best pass accuracy.
Well, I'll tell you what, at this rate, if Switzerland win, they'll be getting the man of match for them.
Yes, he definitely will be.
It's looking bad. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 1 right now. Thank you very much, KL. I could see you jumped at the screen there, you jumped to the keyboard to type. So I thought I'd save you the hassle there. So as it currently stands right now, we've had 1 goal in the second half of the matches so far. So we actually 2 goals so far, because Germany scored in their game. It's Germany 1, Spain 0. Ukraine 1, Switzerland 1 still in that game. The other goal, of course, the second half so far is Russia 1, Serbia 0. That came from a penalty. Finland 0, Wales 0, and Faroe Island 1, Malta 1, Bulgaria 0, Ireland 0. And then you can see some of the other scores going across the screen. Turkey, Hungary 0-0, Moldova 1, Kosovo 0 in their game as well. And talking about goals, Will, there's a goal, but who to?
It's a goal, and it's a goal to Bulgaria. Like I said, it's been a pretty boring game. It's not a lot of chances, but Bulgaria do take the lead. It's a goal by Kraev. Simple ball through the middle. The two centre-backs for Ireland, too far apart, in my opinion. They need to get on Kraev. They need to get tighter on him. He's got too much space. Turns around, and it's an easy finish. Puts it through the legs of Darren Randolph. And Bulgaria have taken the lead in what has been a boring game, but we have our first goal in the 55th minute.
Thank you very much, Will. There we go. These scores are updated. Bulgaria 1, Ireland 0. Well, it's not been the best game so far, but Ireland definitely do need to wake up, because that would be a very disappointing result to start their Nations League campaign. Of course, this is match day 1 of the tournament, but we're getting goals now. That's what we like to see. We've got a corner here for Spain. Can they get an equaliser in this match? We're currently on the 56th minute of this game. And well, they really do need to get an equaliser in this one. It's lofted in by Thiago. It's a lovely ball from the Spaniard, but it doesn't equate to anything. And we are going to see a change for the Spanish international side in a moment. But KD is calling for a moment in the Finland-Wales game. What's going on?
I have no idea how this game's still 0-0. Finland are absolutely all over Wales, but the first time Wales really come forward in this second half, it was Kiefer Moore. Excellent little flick onto, I think it was Williams in the middle. He had someone to his right. I think it was Morel making the run. If he puts him through, he's in. He passes it left to Dan James, who is pretty much just a typical Dan James pass. Final ball lacking straight out of play for a goal kick. But Finland absolutely dominating at the moment.
It's got to be a goal surely soon. Thank you very much, KD, for the update. It's 0-0 as it currently stands in the game. Just looking at the chat right now. What in the world is happening with the chat? Somebody who obviously needs to get ready for school tomorrow morning. It is their bedtime. It is 9 o'clock, of course. But now to put unrelated, City Football Group has just bought League 2 team Troyes. They're buying everyone. They'll buy League 2, the whole just league in general soon. And Justin's put Norway, Austria prediction. Oh, I don't know on that one. I'm going to say 0-0 because most of the games are ending 0-0 right now. But no, if I was being serious, I think Norway will probably win. I'll say 2-1 Norway in that game. Austria have got some good players, but I do feel like with the way that a lot of these teams are right now, they're trying out different players, testing some younger players. And, of course, Norway, I'd assume Erling Haaland would be available to play. So we might get to see him at some point in the Nations League. Spain are coming forward here. It's a lovely ball into the box. I think it was from Jesus Navas there on the far right-hand side, but there was no one in the box to put the ball away. And Rodrigo has been very quiet tonight in this first kind of hour. I wouldn't really see him on the pitch for much longer at this rate. He's not done a great deal so far. And if you're a Leeds fan, obviously I wouldn't take these games really much into account, especially when he's got a lot of time to adapt to the Premier League. And this is the Spain setup, of course, so it's going to be very, very different. But I do think maybe we will see him come off very soon in this game. Jesseland's put no Odegaard. That's another good player as well. You'd have thought maybe they would have taken up. Is Haaland playing Jesseland? You'll probably know much more than me whether Haaland is available for the Nations League or not. Hopefully he is, fingers crossed. But good game on paper, that one. We should have, of course, said some more watch-alongs coming up in the next couple of days. We're going to keep going with these goal shows, keep you up to date with all of the matches as they go along. And, of course, we'll be back as well after the Nations League with some more watch-alongs across European football. But Timo Werner's in here, and that is an absolutely outstanding save from David De Gea. And he's curled it with his right foot, but the linesman has flagged it for offside. And although it's offside, another really good save from David De Gea, who I'm going to have to say, he's kind of keeping his team in it here, to be honest. Plenty of good opportunities for Germany tonight, and David De Gea coming up trumps, although, as I said, that opportunity was offside, which is a real shame there. And we're now towards the 60th minute of these matches, half an hour to go to keep you up to date with the games that the boys aren't watching, and I've got my eye on right now. Slovenia 0, Greece 0. Greece are battering them right now. Slovenia, 9 shots, 4 on target. Pretty much the story of the first half again. Turkey 0, Hungary 0. We said in the first half Hungary were dominating. They still are, although Turkey starting to get their way back into that match possession and shots-wise. And then Moldova 1, Kosovo 0. Kosovo are dominating, but they still haven't had a shot on target. They've had 73% possession in their match. So half an hour of their games left to go. The ones that the boys aren't watching below, of course, we're going to bring the boys in when the goals and the moments do take place. Just look at the chat right now. We're just probably playing Haaland and King up top. You'd expect Haaland maybe to get a goal, which is why I think maybe we might see Norway win that game. Chris has put, Mandanda has tested positive. Now you have to think why international games going ahead when there's already a few international players testing positive, and that's a real shame. Germany winning again. Oh, it's a lovely ball towards Timo Werner, who it should be 2-0. It really should be 2-0. And I've got to say, Germany in this first 15 minutes of the second half are battering Spain. And the ball from Sane is actually a little bit too heavy. It was a simple cross towards Werner, who had that cross been a little bit less... was probably a little bit less powerful, Werner would have put that into the back of the net for his second goal. And it's a big, big opportunity for Germany to go 2-0 up against Spain. And, well, Spain need to do something quick here, because with the way it's going right now, you could see Germany getting a few more in this game. It's Germany 1, Spain 0. KD has put Nico Williams is on in the game for Wales. We'll be delighted about that. Spain are coming forward here, though. Towards the back post, I think that was Thiago Alcantara at the back post. He can't get anything. And I think Sane might be coming off here. He is indeed. He's called for a change. We said earlier in the first half about potential injury. He was all right to play on. He's coming off here. He's asked for a substitution. And we're just seeing who's coming on now. It looks like Matthias Ginter is going to come on in his place. Whether Ginter wants to play it right wing or not, probably not. I would assume there's going to be a bit of a change of system here, but Leroy Sané coming off here. And, of course, they don't want to push Leroy Sané right now, especially when he's just come back from quite a hefty injury in the last few weeks and months, of course, at his time at Manchester City, now of Bayern Munich. But Gareth Bale has also come off for Wales in their game. I'm going to quickly jump KD in, actually, now. Gareth Bale, has he done much in the Wales game tonight?
Nah, he's been very, 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 very poor, I think. Not really been on the ball as much. I think the second half just kind of passed him by, and Harry Wilson's come on for him. Not really seeing much of him. It's been all Finland in the second half so far. Johnny Williams has just come off for Nico Williams, though, so a straight swap for the Williamses there. But, yeah, like you say about Gareth Bale, he's just a mystery man at the moment. I think he's fallen out of love with football, as he has said quite a few times.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but he's come off. Thank you very much, KD. And it's still 0-0 in that game. As KD said, Finland dominating that game right now in terms of opportunities and possession. But it doesn't seem like they're able to break the Wales side down right now. And with Bale coming off, it's not been his best day on the pitch. But I think you could say that across the board for the majority of the games right now. Spain are in here. Rodrigo's through on goal. And it's a good save from Kevin Trapp. And, well, there might be an opportunity there for the new Leeds striker to get his first goal in this game. And unfortunately, it doesn't come to anything there. and it's a simple save for Kevin Trapp. And well, it's an awkward angle for the opportunity to go through on goal and get it into the back of the net. But it stays 1-0 in that game right now. And there's not been really any goals in the other games in terms of the second half right now. The only goals we've had, of course, is the goal for Timo Werner to put Germany in the lead in this game. And, of course, we had the goal for Bulgaria against Ireland. And then the earliest goal was Russia against Serbia, which was a penalty in that match within the first 2 minutes. So we're still waiting for some more goals in these games. It's been a little quiet right now. And just talking about that game between Russia and Serbia, Rowan has said there's been some chances. Let's find out what's happened.
Yeah,
Take it away, Rowan.
it's Dusan Tadic. He's sort of getting into the game a bit more now. Just sitting outside the box, holding the ball to his feet. He's dinked it past 2 players, and at the same time, he's put it on his left foot and he's swung in. So the first time he took a shot and it just goes wide, and the second time he chips it over and it's available for Mitrovic. It just goes a bit over his head. But Tadic's really finding his feet in this game. He's not offside. It's Russia, and it's cleared. But yeah, Dusan Tadic really found his feet in this game. I thought I'd just come tell you.
Is it much better the second half than the first, or are we kind of still playing at the same pace?
I think thing is, I realised in the first half the pace wasn't probably that slow. I think it's just there was not many attacking chances. They were building up well, but not the final finish. But in the second half, yeah, both teams were going for shots at least, trying to test each other's goalkeeper. So in the first half, they were not. And I say that, and Serbia now, I think that they've ended up going back.
There we go. Thank you very much, Rowan. Still Russia 1.
Oh my Jesus!
Has there been an opportunity?
70 yards out. Is that Kolarov? It is Kolarov. Just absolutely thwacks it, and it just goes over the crossbar. It was a ball death by Kolarov, but it had me for a second. It did, and there's another sub for Russia. But I don't know who's off, so bye-bye.
There we go. I mean, we could have had the goal of the season already within pretty much what is the first week of the 2021 football season from who's going to be Inter's new man, Alexander Kolarov, of course. Going to be signing for the Serie A club in the next couple of days from AS Roma. Going to be playing as a centre-back for the club under Antonio Conte, which is very interesting to see, although he's been fantastic while he's been in Italy since he moved from Manchester City. But as it stands right now, Russia 1, Serbia 0. Still, the penalty within the first 2 minutes of that second half changing the game. Of course, we needed a goal in that one to get it alive. And of course, we've got that goal now. And hopefully, maybe we'll see a couple more goals dependent on the final kind of 25 minutes for the 66th minute of the Russia-Spain game. Of course, we'll be around the 65th minutes of the other games as well, just to make sure if we had any other goals in the games that the boys aren't watching. The answer to that is no. Still Slovenia 0, Greece 0, Turkey 0, Hungary 0, and Moldova still in the lead against Kosovo. There's about 20 minutes of those games left to go. And hopefully we'll get a goal in those games at some point. But it's been a bit of a stale night, you could say, in terms of the games. They've not been exactly fast-paced matches in the world. Really, really slow. But hopefully we'll see a couple of better games in the near future. To give you a rough idea of the other games to come, tomorrow night, there's some other games going on. Scotland taking on Israel, Norway taking on Austria, Italy, Bosnia, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Poland's probably the biggest game on the night in terms of the nations. That's at 7:45. We'll probably have a watch along for that. And then, of course, on Saturday, England play at 5 o'clock against Iceland. The nighttime kickoffs for that is Portugal, Croatia, Sweden, France, and Denmark, Belgium. So there's some pretty decent games going on there. So hopefully we'll see a few things going on. We're getting some goals going in now. Whoever put it first, his fastest finger first. KL was the fastest one. Goal in his game. But who to?
It's to Ukraine. They've retaken the lead. It's Yarmolenko on the left-hand side. And he passes it to Alexander Zinchenko, who's just on the edge of the box. And it's to the left-hand side. It's one of them where it's whipped across his body like it's a cross, but it floats into the bottom, into the backside corner over the head of Jan Sommer. It's a lovely finish from left-back come attacking midfielder Alexander Zinchenko.
There we go. 2-0 to the good. Do you think maybe there's a chance for Switzerland to get back, or are Russia the better side right now?
Russia aren't the better side.
Ukraine.
No, I think Switzerland might have a chance later on in this game because Ukraine have had really goals against the run of play. So maybe bring on some better players from Switzerland's point of view, and then they'll probably come out at least with a draw.
There we go. Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1. Thank you very much, Kale. And talking about Russia, we have had a goal in Rowan's game. The question is, who is it to? We'll have to find out in a moment just to make sure. Germany 1, Spain 0 is still the score in this game. We've had a decent opportunity for Spain there to try and get through on goal. It was Carvajal, but we can now go to Rowan. What's that happened?
Well, it's Russia 2. Karyavev has pulled out some magic. He takes the ball just outside the box, just probably near the close to the corner flag, and he's just running it inside. I'll talk about Tadic cutting it outside the box, and that's what Karyavev has done. He's took it from the corner flag. He's just keep on in. He's still going, and no Serbia's playing. He still goes. Gets outside the box just a bit to the left, and just whips a shot, and it just goes past Dimirovic in the top right corner. If you can see the goal, it's incredible. He just opens himself up. He's not closed down by any of the Serbian defenders. Just keeps him running, then thwacks it into that top right corner. It's an incredible goal from Karyavev. And yeah, Russia 2-0 up, and they're looking like the better side, to be honest. I mean, when we were talking about it, Russia were about to take in a lovely back heel through into the middle, and it's eventually cleared. And it's another free kick to Russia. Serbia now, both centre halves are on yellows, so they've got to be careful here.
Good game so far. Russia 2, Serbia 0. They might have got the stars on the pitch, Serbia, but it's Russia who are running the show right now. Thank you very much, Rowan. 2 goals in that game. Good to see a few more goals going across the board. Let me just quickly change the time for the scoreboard so you can see we're getting towards the 70th minute mark of these games, and it's good to see that we've got some goals going across the board now in those games. As Rowan said a moment ago, Russia 2, Serbia 0 in that game right now. And we've had a goal Moldova and Kosovo. Kosovo, they've had the dominance in their game. They finally got a goal back. It's 1-1 in their match. They've been dominating that game. It's Benjamin Kololi. Of course, plays in the Liga for Stade de Reims. He's got an equaliser in that game. They've had 11 shots, 3 on target. They've battered pretty much Moldova all game long, and they finally got the goal that they've deserved in that game. So 1-1, and with 20 minutes left, they've got plenty of time to maybe go on and score a winner in their game. Of course, we said before that for the smaller teams, this competition probably means a lot more than the bigger teams. And for the bigger teams, it just means more competitive games, which, talking about competitive games right now, it is really end-to-end between Germany and Spain. It's been a very good second half. Spain just bombing forward. Ferran Torres lofting the ball into the box, and they've had an onslaught of opportunities to take on Germany right now. Of course, have that slender 1-0 lead courtesy of Timo Werner. And they're coming forward again here, and it's Carvajal who's on the right-hand side. He's dancing his way through. It's lovely work from Carvajal. It's a bobbling ball, but Kevin Trapp can get to it. And right now, it does feel like maybe there's an opportunity for 1 or 2 more goals in this match. And Luis Enrique, who is the new Spain manager, of course, is looking to the bench to make some more changes. So we'll have to find out what happens there in that match. Lual Malek has put Germany's winning this game 3-1. And I mean, as you said there right now, Lual, it does feel like there's going to be more opportunities for goals in this game. Although Spain are coming forward here. Ansu Fati, who came on not too long ago, is on the pitch. Can the youngster make a difference in this match and get an equaliser in this game? It's a heavy lofted ball towards the path of, I think that's Sergio Busquets, who was in the box there, but he can't get a touch on the ball. And it really is an onslaught of Spain opportunities. They're coming forward again here. I mean, it's been a fantastic second half, probably compared to some of the other games, but they just can't seem to, right now, get the ball into the back of the net and get that equaliser and maybe make this game a little bit more interesting with about 15 to 20 minutes of time to go. Turkey 0, Hungary 0, Slovenia 0, Greece 0 in the 2 other games that everybody isn't watching right now. So we're not really missing out on much there. And Spain forward again here. Carvajal's in the box. It's surely now got to be 1-1. It is tapped in to the back of the net. But it's been given as offside. Carvajal just looking at the opportunity there. And well, the linesman is absolutely spot on. He's offside. And it was an opportunity where Kevin Trapp came out of his box, tried to stop the cross from Carvajal. It was put towards the youngster Ansu Fati, and Carvajal, I think he knows before the ball is into the back of the net that he's offside, and the goal isn't going to count. So it stays Germany 1, Spain 0. Will has said there's a goal. Who's it to, Will?
It's a goal, and it's 2-1 to the mighty Malta. They've taken a 2-1 lead. Andre Anguiz in the 73rd minute. Again, it's like I said earlier, it's been a tight game. Faroe Islands have been dominating the possession, but Malta have taken the lead. You could say it's against the run of play. But yeah, they lead. And in the other game between Ireland and Bulgaria, it's still 1-0 Bulgaria. Not much going on in this game, I've got to be honest with you. Maybe one chance earlier in the game for Ireland where Aaron Connolly got down the sideline. whipped it across, but no one was in the box, and they just made a sub. O'Dowda has come off for Callum Robinson as they look to get an equaliser. At 73 minutes, it's still 1-0 Bulgaria, and 75 minutes have gone in the other game, and it's 2-1 to Malta.
Thank you very much, Will. I mean, Faroe Islands 1, Malta 2. Who would have thought that would have been potentially the game of the night right now? I mean, what a fantastic game it's been for Malta, of course. These two sides will really be going for it just because of the fact that this does have implications potentially for their future qualifying for the Euros. So, these teams at lower end, they're going to really go for it. And it sounds like it's been a pretty decent game so far between Faroe Islands and Malta. 2-1 there. Not the greatest game in the world in terms of the stature of the teams, but we're getting goals. And right now with 3 goals, it's joint with the most goals of any game alongside Ukraine and Switzerland right now in terms of the games that are live. So 9 games across the board right now, 2 games with 3 goals. And Malta, of course, taking a 2-1 lead there. So that is good to see indeed. We are hitting the 75th minute in the Germany-Spain game. We've got 15 minutes to go, maybe a little bit more in some of the other games across some of the matches as the scores are right now on the doors, on the bottom of the screen. Germany 1, Spain 0, or they just feel like Spain might get back into this one. Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1, Bulgaria 1, Ireland 0, Russia 2, Serbia 1. Slovenia 0, Greece 0, Turkey 0, Hungary 0, Faroe Islands 1, Malta 2, and Moldova 1, Kosovo 1. So a couple of goals here and there. In terms of the 2 games that the boys myself aren't watching tonight, of course, no goals in them, so we're not missing out really in those 2 games at all. Look in the comments, but I'll just put, come on Malta, believe in them. They've got plenty of time to maybe go on and score another goal in that game. It does sound like a decent match. Actually, look at the stats right now. Both teams are doing pretty all right, to be fair. A couple of shots on target for either side. In fact, there's been 8 shots on target altogether in that game, which if you compare it to the Germany-Spain game, Germany-Spain's had 9. So sounds like there's been a couple of good opportunities there. And as I said, 15 minutes left to go. Maybe we might see a couple of sides make some changes and really go for it in these games. Germany themselves, they've made a change. Ilkay Gundogan has come off in this match. So one of the changes there. And I would assume Spain will make a couple more changes in a moment's time. But with 14 minutes to go, it's still Germany 1, Spain 0. And they've been very good the away side, but they just can't seem to break down this very solid German defence. And with 14 minutes left to go, Luis Enrique is going to have to do something if he wants his Spain side to get at least a point from their first Nation Leagues match. Although Germany coming forward here, it's Taylor on the right back position. He's gone down. It's going to be a free kick, I think, to Germany, in a very good position to loft this one in. Are we going to get an opportunity in goal? We'll have to find out. But there's been a goal. Roman, who scored?
And it's 2-1. It's 2-1. 2 obviously Russia, but Serbia do get the goal. But I don't know who plays in. I can't say. It is. I don't know. But it just simple squares it across the goal, faces the goal, and who's there? It's obviously Mitrovic. Just pokes in. Half decent finish, but game on 2-1. Simple ball and simple goal.
Thank you very much. We're on 15 minutes left. You never know what could happen in that one. It was a little bit quieter first, but now it seems to be lighting up in that match with 15 minutes left. Can Serbia take a point or maybe go on and produce an incredible comeback, you could say? Players are going to be tired. Players are going to be a little bit worn out, a little bit more than you would expect them to. Remember that these games, had they been played at this current point, had the season normally gone on, they would have had a couple of games under their belt. For some players, it's their first match back. Germany with an opportunity on goal here. It's a free kick, which I was talking about a moment ago, that was lofted into the box. Nicholas Sewell getting his head onto it. De Gea makes the save. It's going to go out for a corner. And, well, if Germany can get a second goal in this game, you would think it would be game, set and match in this mammoth of a fixture in terms of the two teams. Not really a mammoth of a fixture in terms of the match itself, but it's been a good match. If you compare it to the other games, it's probably been, I wouldn't say a standout match, but had plenty of good opportunities for it not to be a stale game. The corner's going to be taken short here. Lofted towards the middle of the pitch. It's flicked very awkwardly and straight into the hands of David De Gea, who's going to hit this longer. This could be a great opportunity here for a counter-attack for Spain. Can they make something of it? It's Ferran Torres who does get a touch on the ball. But it looks like, I was going to say there, the referee looked like he'd given it to Germany, but it is Spain's throw-in, and it's in a decent position here, maybe, to make something of this. And they don't at all. It's passed towards the middle of the field, and they're just taking their time here. No rush. They've got 12 minutes left of this match. Can they get an equaliser? We'll have to find out in a moment's time. We're going to hit towards the 80th minute of these games. 10 minutes to go. Can we see any late equalizers or winners across the board in these 9 fixtures? We'll have to find out. If you are new, as always, it'd be greatly appreciated if you do leave a like and a subscription. We're going to be doing this UEFA Nations League goal show across the next week. And then after the UEFA Nations League goal show, of course, we'll have the seasons getting underway. So keep your eyes out for a whole host of watchalongs in the near future across the Premier League and the 5 main leagues. Some good games to come in the next coming weeks. And we're going to be changing things up a little bit as well on the StreamYard app that we use. So we're going to get some fresh stuff on there, make it look nice and fresh. And we've had a goal with Turkey and Hungary, which is one of the games that we aren't watching tonight. And the goal has gone to Hungary. It's 1-0. And it is the young midfielder Dominik Szoboszlai of RB Salzburg who's got the goal. So Hungary have taken the lead in that game. And Turkey, who I said before, have not had the greatest of games in the world. They've been dominated in terms of opportunities on goal. Are 1-0 down. And Dominik Szoboszlai has put them into the lead. 1-0 there. And at least there's a goal in that game right now. And talking about goals, Rowan has a goal in the Russia-Serbia game. Is it 2-2?
It isn't 2-2, and it's an absolute howler for Serbia. I'm just trying to get a thing, and it's Maksimovic. Ball's being passed around between Milinkovic and Maksimovic at the back. Milinkovic plays with Maksimovic. Maksimovic goes clear. He slips on his ass. Who's there waiting? It's Zuba. He takes it. He slots it past Dimitrovic, and it's 3-1 Russia now. But that is if Maksimovic just slips, ball is lost from under his feet. Zuba collects it. Very nice professional finish by him. But yeah, I think the game's over, but that will stay with Maksimovic.
Very unlucky. As Rowan said, thank you very much, Rowan. As Rowan said there, just as Serbia were getting back in the game and you thought maybe there was a hope of opportunity that they could get a point or maybe go on and win all 3 points, it looks like Russia are going to take the first 3 points home with the UEFA Nations League in their group. They're 3-1 to the good. We said before, Russia, they've been fantastic in tournaments. The 2018 World Cup, they were sensational in their qualifiers. I think they're in the same group as Spain. They were really good and came second in their group, I believe. And they're continuing that good run of form. What looks like it's going to be 3 points in their first game. So 3-1 to Serbia and 3-1 to Russia, sorry. And it looks like Serbia are going to be going out home with nothing. Finally, KD has said there's been a goal between Finland and Wales. He said about Finland Dominus earlier. Have they scored or is it Wales?
Oh, thank God there's been a bloody goal. I felt left out. It's Wales who have scored. It's a simple goal, really, for Kiefer Moore, who has tapped it in from a Daniel James cross on the left-hand side. Against the run of play majorly, Finland have been dominating. The game has died down horrifically in the past 10 minutes. I've been sat here up on Twitter, refreshing, looking for anything better to do than watch this game. But I looked up and there was a goal. So I'm happy now. 10 minutes left.
Thank you very much, KD. At least we've had a goal in that game as well. Finland 0, Wales 1. Kiefer Moore, former Rotherham legend, scoring the goal in that game. Good to see there Wales taking the lead. Kieran D said earlier about a bit of a dominance from Finland in that game, but Wales looked like they might be able to nick the 3 points late on in that match. And it's good to see finally some goals just going in towards the latter stages of these games. We're getting close towards the final 5 minutes. We're at the 82nd minute right now of the Germany-Spain game, still 1-0. You can see the scores on the bottom right now. Germany 1, Spain 0, Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1, Bulgaria 1, Ireland 0, Russia 3, Serbia 1, Slovenia 0, Greece 0, Turkey 0, Hungary 1, Faroe Islands 1, Malta 2, Moldova 1, Kosovo 1, and Finland 0, Wales 1. So goals going in right now. Jocelyn's put about Bale's hair. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of it. I don't know what the boys will think about Bale's hair as well. I know I've seen the picture of him putting his hair down right now, but he's not on the pitch anyway. He had to come off, and it's Kiefer Moore, who is the hero of that game, could get Wales their first 3 points of the UEFA Nations League. Of course, this is match day 1. And in this game right now, Germany and Spain, it's just died down a little bit. Spain had that dominance in the 70th minute, kind of 10 or 15 minutes, really pushing forward. It's gone a little bit quiet here, but with 7 minutes to go, can they maybe nick a late equaliser in this game? it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. There's this onslaught of opportunities, but nothing really seems to be coming of it. And Kevin Trapp might get a clean sheet tonight in goal, which, of course, it'll be a fantastic game for him because the amount of German goalkeepers they've got ahead of him, the likes of ter Stegen, Leno, Neuer, this is a rare opportunity for the German goalkeeper to have a chance in the German national team. And if he can come away with a clean sheet tonight against a really good Spain side, remember that, apart from the front line tonight and the defence maybe to a certain aspect, it is a very strong Spain team. He'll be absolutely delighted with a clean sheet. The other games going on, Hungary still 1-0 up against Turkey, Slovenia 0, Greece 0. Are we going to see a few last-minute goals in these games? I thought maybe Russia, we're going to let Serbia back into it, but of course Russia now 3-1 to the good. You think that's game over there. Maybe it could be Faroe Islands on Malta, still 2-1 right now. If Faroe Islands can nick a goal back in that game, it'd be a very vital point for them. Of course, Bulgaria still 1-0 up against Ireland. That'd be a very disappointing result for Ireland if they lose that game 1-0 against Bulgaria. Of course, not the international side they used to be back in their heyday in the 90s. And of course, Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1. Still got potential opportunity maybe for a goal in that game. Maybe Ukraine take another goal and get the all 3 points. Or Switzerland get an equaliser and get a point late on, but we'll have to find out as we hit the 85th minute of the Germany-Spain game. Of course, some of the games that the boys will be watching may be a little bit ahead or a little bit behind in terms of time. Question is, are we going to see goals? We'll have to find out. I mean, Lawal Malik said earlier about Germany winning this game 3-1. I think it looks like this game is going to end 1-0. Unless Spain can get something here, which it just doesn't feel like they will. It's a big 3 points for Germany because it's not the easiest group in the world that they're in. Of course, I think a lot of people won't know the groups that some of the nations are in right now. The group that Germany and Spain are in is the group that Ukraine and Switzerland are in, which on paper, 4 very, very good sides. I mean, Ukraine have been incredible over the last couple of months, and to be fair, over the last year, you could say, in Switzerland themselves have not got a bad side on paper. As for Spain and Germany, the great sides themselves, but it's a very, very even group. And of course, for Ukraine tonight, if they can get a winning run going, get the first 3 points on the board, it puts them in a great position if they can keep it 2-1 in that match. If you have enjoyed tonight, by the way, do leave a like and a subscription. It'd be greatly appreciated as always. I can see there's been a fair amount of likes tonight. Thank you very much for everybody that has liked. And as I said, for any new subscribers as well, thank you so much for subscribing. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. We're only 12 subscribers now, away from 700, which is absolutely fantastic. And of course, we know that you guys have enjoyed these watch-alongs, so we're going to be doing plenty more, not just international-wise, but when the Premier League and the major leagues come back very, very soon. And we've had a goal. It's been a little bit quiet over these last couple of minutes. There's been a goal in one of the games. Who's it to, Will?
I don't believe it. Faroe Islands. They've got an 88th minute equaliser against Malta. 2-2 in the game. It's been a very good game by the looks of it. Obviously, I wasn't able to get it up on Sky Sports. I think they've just got rid of all the red button games tonight for some reason. But from what I've heard, it's been a very good game. And it's Andreas Olsen, not Clement Olsen. I think it's a different Olsen. He's got the equaliser in the 87th minute, the striker. So yeah, it's 2-2, and it's looking like Malta have blown this chance to get a win here.
Very unlucky for them. Thank you very much, Will. 2-2, Faroe Islands. 4 goals in the game that we were taking the piss out of. Unbelievable right now. And the Olsens getting the 2 goals in that game for Faroe Islands. 4 goals. And, well, there's still time left for them maybe to go on and get a win. A 2-2 mental match so far. Absolutely crazy. Unbelievable. 2-2. Rowan's put the Russian manager has just been given a yellow card in his game. Tensions running high, although he's 3-1 up. Why are you getting a yellow card? 3-1 up. I don't know why he's getting a yellow card in that game, but of course, who knows? Maybe tensions are running high towards the end of that match. Germany-Spain right now, still 1-0. A couple of minutes left of this game. Germany looking very calm right now and comfortable, although you never know what could happen. And Rowan has said, after that yellow card, there's been an opportunity. What's happened in your game, Rowan?
Yeah, and again, it's another defensive mistake. This time it's Ozdiev just plays the ball absolutely open into the midfield to, I think, Maximovic, possibly. He plays at maximum fixtures 1-on-1 against Shunin, and Shunin does a credible save, but it should be 3-2 right now. It was 1-on-1. It should have been an easy goal, saved by fucking hell Shunin. No, it was lumbered around in the box. The ball was in the box. It was all passing around. No one knew where it was going. And who's that? That's number 11. Can't see his name. It's Kolarov. And he's straight at Shunin. But yeah, still 3-1 to Serbia. Russia. And it's nearly full time.
Thank you very much, Roman. 3-1 Russia. It doesn't sound like a bad game at all that tonight. A couple of goals going in there. Of course, Russia doing a very good job. First 3 points on the board will be massive for them right now. And as Roman said, we are getting towards the end of the games. And I cannot believe it. Unbelievable scenes. I've just seen there's a goal. Will, take it away.
3-2 to the Faroe Islands. They've scored in the 90th minute. They've got 2 goals in 2 minutes. And it's Brandor Olsen this time, Clement Olsen, Andreas Olsen, Brandor Olsen. 3 Olsens have scored. All 3 Olsens have scored. I don't know if the brothers or not. I have no idea. I've never heard of any of them. But they have all scored a goal each. It's 90th minute, and it's 3-2 to Faroe Islands. I've got to be honest. Faroe Islands really deserve this win. I mean, they've had more shots. They've dominated the possession. They've kind of outpassed Malta. But yeah, 3-2 to the Faroe Islands, and Malta will be absolutely devastated.
Thank you so much, Will. Can you believe it? Faroe Islands 3, Malta 2. The Olsen family, they'll be fucking ecstatic tonight because all the Olsens have scored. Unbelievable. 3-2. They scored a couple of moments ago, as Will said, to make it 2-2. It looks like they've won the game late on. What is crazy to say, it's the best game of the night so far. It looks like absolutely mental. And the Olsen triplets look like they've nixed the game late on. Unbelievable. 3-2. Looking at the stats, yeah, I mean, unbelievable game. Both sides really going for it. There's been 14 shots on target between both the sides. They've been absolutely going for it. And fair play, because when you look at the game on paper, technically it's not the most outstanding match in the world, but they've really given it their all tonight. And fair play. Faroe Islands 3, Malta 2. And well, Bernardo's dreams of Malta's win looks to have been dashed late on. And 5 goals in that game. Unbelievable. And just as that goal's gone in, of course, we are hitting the 90th minute of these games now, coming towards the end of these matches as it currently stands. You can see on the screen right now the live scores. Just mental games across the board, not in terms of the hype of goals, but if you're a Faroe Islands fan, you're going to be absolutely ecstatic tonight. I think they'll be dancing in the streets of Faroe Islands after that after the goal. The 3 points might be massive for them. You never know. It could spur them on to win the Nations League. You just don't know these days. But Spain are coming forward here in this last couple of minutes, trying to get the equaliser in this game. And surely that's got to be an equalising goal. Ansu Fati, back post header. And the referee said no. It's been given as a foul. Or is it? I'm just trying to make sure here. It's been given as a foul. And well, Ansu Fati thought he'd nicked an equaliser late on in this game. And the referee said, no, it's been given as a foul. It actually wasn't anything to do with Ansu Fati. Just looking right now, it looked like Sergio Ramos clattered into one of the German players. And I think he's giving it as a penalty. I don't know what's happening here. Just trying to make sure what's happening. Bit of confusion right now. One of the German players has gone down. I think it's been given as a foul. Kevin Trapp has the ball in his hand, so it's been given as a foul, but it looks like Sergio Ramos has clattered into one of the German players. And as Ansu Fati thinks he's got an equaliser in this game, it's been ruled out, and that's the second time now that a goal has been ruled out in this game. So it looks like Germany are going to take the win here. A 1-0 win, 3 points on the board, and well, real shame there for Ansu Fati, who's had 2 goals disallowed tonight, the youngster. Real shame in what's been a very decent performance for him. In the small amount of time he's had. And Will has said there's a goal. Who to, Will?
It's a goal in the other game, the Bulgaria-Ireland game. It's Shane Duffy from a corner. 93rd minute, he's banged in a header. It's a fantastic header, to be fair. It's whipped in. He's at the back post. He's pretty much unmarked. But he's headed it down. The Bulgaria goalkeeper's rooted to the spot. And it looks like Ireland have rescued a point. I mean, nothing more than they've actually deserved. I think they've been the better team in the second half. And they've got the deserved equaliser. It's 1-1.
Thank you very much, Will. And it's the new boy at Celtic, Shane Duffy, with the equaliser to make it 1-1 between Bulgaria and Ireland. I mean, it would have been a very disappointing result for them. It still probably will be a disappointing result for them, but 1-1, at least they'll be able to get a point 93rd minute if they can hold on in their final couple of minutes in that game. 1-1 as it stands. Shane Duffy with the goal in that one. Massive, massive goal. We're coming towards the end of some of the games now. It's full time in the game between Serbia and Russia. Not a bad match overall, Robin.
Actually, no, it's definitely spicy for the second half. All goals have come in the second half. We got that early penalty, and then Karabev with a piece of magic pumped to him. Mitrovic did get that goal back, but then an absolute howler in defence. Gifted Juba a goal, and I think Russia do deserve it. They played better. Serbia had a little bit of a chances, but Tadic, you couldn't rely on Tadic the entire game. Milinkovic-Savic didn't have an incredible game. He came off, and Russia the better side.
Thank you very much. We're on full time. Russia 3, Serbia 1 in that game. There's also full time in another game as well. Pretty decent match tonight as well. Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1. Not a bad game overall.
No. Not as good as some of the options we could have had tonight. That Alexander Zinchenko sweeping cross shot. I'm sure he'll say it was a shot, but that's the decider. And I think Switzerland will be quite disappointed because on paper they may have the better team, but this Andrei Shevchenko Ukraine just a steamrolling through tournaments at the moment, and I'm excited to see them go forward. But they are in a very tough group.
Thank you very much, Kyle. 2-1 full time between Ukraine and Switzerland. And the result of the night, the game of the night, is full time between Faroe Islands and Malta. The comeback is complete, Will. What a game.
Incredible game. Incredible game indeed. I mean, Faroe Islands, they look like they were dead, but 88th minute they scored the equaliser. 90th minute they get the winning goal. And I've got to say, what a game from the Olsen triplets. I mean, like I said, the family must be going absolutely crazy tonight. But yeah, great win for Faroe Islands.
There's a goal!
3 massive... Who scored it?
96th minute, Spain have equalised.
Who is it?
Unbelievable. I'm just trying to see what's happened there. Well, they've been knocking on the door all game long. And there's a match on. They're jumping on each other right now. It's as if they've just scored the Champions League final goal, and I mean, it must mean a lot to them. Just trying to see what's happened there. De Gea's absolutely ecstatic. Let's find out what's happened.
How many late goals tonight? Jesus,
unbelievable. Well, they've been knocking at the door. As I said, it's Germany 1, Spain 1. It's a ball that's lofted towards the far right-hand side. I think it's Ferran Torres with a dinked ball into the box, and trying to see there who it is. I think it's Fabian Ruiz who scored the equalising goal. It is indeed, and well, it's the simplest of finishes he's ever going to get.
It's full time as well in the Ireland game, by the way. It's finished 1-1. First half Ireland were really poor, but the second half they took it to Bulgaria and they got that late goal of Shane Duffy from the centre of the box. Well, the ball was ripped in. Duffy was there in the centre of the box with a big bullet header into the bottom corner, so Ireland rescue a point, but it's full time. Bulgaria won, Republic of Ireland won.
Thank you very much, Will. 2 very good games, it sounds like, in terms of late drama. In terms of late drama as well, it was Jose Gaya that scored the equalising goal in that game. It's 1-1, and just as the goal has gone in, the ref has blown the full-time whistle in that game as well. It ends Germany 1, Spain 1, and Gundogan has just thrown the ball at the referee. And I don't know here whether the referee is going to bring out a card or not. They're having a talking to right now. Obviously, they're going to be fuming at the end here. Literally, the last kick of the game, Spain have, salvaged themselves a point. And it's Jose Gaya, the unlikely hero, who's got the equalising goal in that game. And Germany have to be disappointed because it felt like they were going to go home here with the 3 points in this first match day. But Jose Gaya, 96th minute equaliser, gets a massive, massive goal for Spain. And surely... it's going to make things interesting in that group, especially with Ukraine and Switzerland already playing tonight. Of course, Ukraine getting the 3 points, which means Ukraine, as it currently stands, go top of their group. And of course, as well, there is one more game that the boys were covering tonight as well. KD was covering Finland versus Wales. It's full time in that game. Wales get a win, Kieran, but was it deserved?
I want to say just based on the first half performance, because in the second half, Finland definitely had the better of the game, but they didn't really do much with the ball. And Wales, I mean, it's a big win for them because I think a few years ago they wouldn't have won a game like this, and it's a big 3 points from, I think, in the Nations League.
Absolutely, thank you very much, KD. So it ends Finland 0, Wales 1, and they had a good game, Finland, but they just couldn't do enough in their game to win the match overall. So you can see on the screen in just a moment's time, I'm going to update the full-time score to you, just making sure that everything is okay. So Germany 1, Spain 1 is the score in that game. Bulgaria 1, Ireland 1, late equalizers in both those matches from defenders. Russia 3, Serbia 1, Slovenia 0, Greece 0, Turkey 0, Hungary 1, Finland 0, Wales 1, Moldova 1, Kosovo 1, and Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1. Let's bring the boys back in now. The games are done. Full time, lads. It wasn't the most interesting first half fixtures in the world, but it certainly lightened up in the second.
Yeah. All my goals came in the second half, so I can't complain.
I think the games I was watching, they all came to life in the last 5 minutes or so.
I'm going to say it's mad, isn't it? The pick of the bunch tonight was Faroe Islands Malta with the 5 goals.
What a game. Like I said, I thought it was either going to be 0-0 or we were going to have goals. I said 4-4, but yeah, 3-2 was a great win for Faroe Islands. And, you know, I'm gutted. I wanted Malta to win. Obviously, I'm quarter Maltese and never going to do anything in European football. I mean, maybe they can use a striker, a right back, maybe. You know, I'm always up for the challenge. But yeah, I think Faroe Islands definitely deserve the win tonight, and it's a vital 3 points to them, really, if they're looking to maybe sneak into the Euros if possible.
Fair play. I mean, if anybody from the Maltese national team decides to watch this, you know, if you want Will's number, we'll give you Will's number and you can play for the team. And then the next time we do the next match day, we'll be covering Will playing for Malta. So
do it
you
live
never know on that
Malta.
one.
We'll get Will to do it. He'll do it from the subs bench.
We'll get like a GoPro on him so we can actually watch the game for free. All right? It's dropping things.
Don't know what that could have possibly been.
He's a Switzerland fan. He's angry that they've lost.
I am. I'm a massive Granit Xhaka fan. You know this. I had my Granit Xhaka shirt primed and ready, and they didn't win. So I've thrown it on the floor.
Very, very unfortunate. First game is I think captain tonight. Did he play tonight?
Yeah. He captained the team. Yeah.
Well, maybe they want to change that now. 2-1 loss there, but overall, it's been an all right night of fixtures. I wouldn't say it's the most speculative and amazing matches in the world, but you know, the games that we went through: Germany 1, Spain 1, Ukraine 2, Switzerland 1, Russia 3, Serbia 1, Finland 0, Wales 1, Faroe Islands 3, Malta 2, and Bulgaria 1, Ireland 1. So that is the first night of UEFA Nations League action complete. We're going to be, as I said, going to do some more watch-alongs and goal shows throughout the Nations League over the next week. So do keep your eyes out on the channel. If you're new, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. But as for now, thank you very much, boys, for joining us tonight. Thank you very much for watching your games. If they weren't the best of matches, I do sincerely apologise. But we will be back. Thank you very much. We will be back very shortly for the other games the next couple of days. Keep your eyes out. England playing on Saturday night. I think Netherlands and Poland is tomorrow. We might do a goal show tomorrow. There's not really many amazing matches on tomorrow, but Scotland-Israel is one of them. Will Peace, looking forward to it.
I can't wait for that.
Keep your eyes out for that one. But as for now, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you